On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, we're going to talk to you about more Anni 5 plans, 5-hour maintenance, and also, can you pet the dog in FGO? Well, you'll just have to stay tuned to find out. Hello, I am one of your hosts, definitely not two dogs in a trench coat, Omega. With me, as always, Lucky of the 8 Virtues.
I don't think virtue is the word I'd use to describe me. But
I did not specify to the audience what the 8 virtues were. They can guess. Please, go for it in the comments.
True enough. I hope everyone's enjoying Vagrant Order, aka truly the dog days of summer. And while we here at City Omega like to bring you the latest in FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events about the JP and AM versions of the game, so anyone not wanting spoilers should beware overcrowding at cons.
Yeah, I don't know if it was substantiated, but I did see some tweets that apparently the LA County Sheriff's Office and the Fire Marshal did stop allowing even more people into AX. So
yeah,
I believe they are at cap, as we say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fun. But here we are. We've got probably a little bit of a lean show for you, though we still have a decent spread of things to talk about. We have been given many gifts. But if you feel like that's not enough of us, I would like to remind everybody that because the anniversary panel stream is on Sunday, we will probably be doing some kind of reaction something for it. What exactly that will look like will depend on how we feel and how it goes Sunday, but something if you want some more of us. And you will have many, many hours to contemplate that because, as I said before, 5-hour maintenance has been announced. It's big. It's bad. Means I'm probably going to do all my anniversary stuff when I wake up Monday morning. But before we go too far, I would like to remind you that this episode is brought to you by patrons like Adam DeHarp, Art10, Blackest OG, Carlos, Dragon, Ferris, Jeremy Vasquez, Just to the Fae, Jonathan Sandoval, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Regent Raptor, Rise of Kenji, Rogue Robin, Charvor, Sean Pryor, Some Guy Named Bob, 723, and Baron the Crow. If we like what we do and want to see us do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. Get access to episodes early and more, and other stuff. It really helps support us. Thank you for your support, everybody.
Thank you.
I do really mean early. Everybody who's a 5 and up patron can already watch Wanted Castoria, which the thumbnail of which has been, for us, friggin' blowing up on social media. I've gotten like 4 or 5 replies to that tweet, which is unheard of for us, yeah.
Interesting.
People are really vibing, so I hope the video...
Well, Castoria is the meme maker, the meta maker, you know.
Yeah. And if you don't understand all that, watch the video because you will, because I do attempt to break down just how impactful that is, so you should go check it out. Also, I use lots of lens flares, and I also had to double-check how to correctly pronounce Tentacle, which is a town in Cornwall.
Isn't that like Tina something?
Yeah, Gel.
That's what it was.
You might think it's Tintagel, but it's Tentacle. I double-checked. Haha, joke's on you, Robin. Tamamo's not dead. Castoria is actually even betterer if you can have a Tamamo.
I mean, this is what I said when we first came out, but no, everyone's all like, no, gotta have double servant strats. Gotta rely on other people.
Well, guess what, Lucky? I did the research for the video, and it turns out you were right. You were right the whole time. Math. Tamamo's NP up and is better, plus the fact that if you're doing CQs or story content that you can't 3-turn anyway, the fact that Tamamo heals and reduces cooldowns is way worth it. Yes, Filthy Casual in our patron chat is correct. Jean is dead. There's almost nothing that Jean does currently that Castoria doesn't do better in an art strat, which is a little sad, but hopefully they'll get her some buffs in the future, and a couple of Jean's things are kind of on her own. If you want to do crits, that is something that Castoria, for instance, basically doesn't do. Also, yes, I don't really like to comment on patrons canceling, but I do want to throw this out there. You may have noticed a very infamous name is missing. I'm not really going to go, I don't want to shame anybody, but we have, at least for now, parted ways with the patron Ahago Comics, which brought us great joy the first couple months. I had to say that name out loud. But that does mean that we have an opening for somebody with a similarly hilarious patron name to support us at the appropriate level and get me to say something funny. I just want to bring it up there. But okay, let's keep on schmoovin', loopin', scoochin', going even further beyond. Let's check in with everybody's favorite Kohai Mash.
Senpai, 起きてください.
Mash has put on her good dress for anniversary. So, that means it's time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai Register for pro tips, which I can clearly say because we've been doing this for about 5 minutes. And also, I'm not sure YouTube cares anymore. I think like 2 streams in a row, both Lucky and I on alternate weeks have dropped a hard F-bomb in like the first 30 seconds. YouTube did not flinch. So maybe we're getting a little loosey-goosey on that. But I have a couple of pro tips this week. First and foremost, it is July now. We have July exchange items. They will be Eternal Ice, Snake Gems, and Small Bells, not to be confused with Large Bells. Don't get them mixed up. Now, since Small Bells are a Lost Boat 6 mat, and you need approximately 4 billion for Castoria's append skills alone, you will probably be picking Small Bells every day of this month, but just a heads up. Also, second follow-up, the Memorial Quests work off event support, so in case you didn't do something about your event support during Hunting Quest, maybe you should do it during the Memorial Quest, because some of those are tougher, and may ask for people to get some extra juice.
Juice!
I've heard people yelling at some of them, as per the usual.
I think I have mine set to have my main support as both normal and event right now, so I should be okay.
Yeah, I did that during Hunting Quest, so I don't think it's changed. When they announce OQ, we can get into that business. Because remember, that's still coming, folks.
Soon.
Don't slack off. But alright. Hey, for once, we have some notations in Records from the Throne, our regular achievement topic.
Oh.
So, I spent some tickets on the CE banner for CEs. I got some fun ones. I did get a Python. I got a couple of Hokusais, for instance. But last night, when I did that, I got a Njolter instead. I was quite bamboozled. Very shocked. Not normally how that works.
Haven't you wanted an Anger Cat for a while?
Yeah, no, I actually spent quite a bit of sync quartz on her original debut banner. I got 2 Anastasias instead, which is perfectly fine, Stacey. But still funny, hilarious.
That's her luck.
Yeah. Yeah, my luck is NP6 Kirki, no Odysseus, NP2 Anastasia, no Njolter. We do be wrong luck out here.
The desire sensor is strong.
Yeah, but I also did pick up the Aresh and Ishtar CEs on the tickets they gave us as planned.
Yay.
Honestly, with the fact that they did Memorial Quests early, sorry to cut you off, but just a note.
That's fine.
The fact that they did Memorial Quests early with the ticket rewards, like the fact that they're 4-star CEs, I got an event CE like every summon ticket I've spent on that banner, so it doesn't really seem so bad if people are like hesitant. I know obviously some of you want to save like every little scrap for Castoria. And so on. But I've had pretty good results just throwing tickets at it every night. So, hey, you can get a few extra CEs that way. Proceed, Mr. Lucky.
Thank you, Sir Omega. So on my end, I was able to protect the Space Boy's smile. It was actually a surprise. I picked up the monthly CEs. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go spend these. And I realized that my Voyager was still 80 out of 90. I was all like, the gasp. And I crammed embers down his throat to get him up. And for my exchange, I picked up King Protea and MASH. I actually was whiffling and waffling about it back and forth, especially if I actually should spend some quartz or tickets on summoning. And I decided ultimately against it. Lucky has to enter, has to be careful about, spending money and whatnot. I was actually looking at my purchases and I'm like, I buy a lot. Even just for my entertainment things, I spent a fair amount of money. I was actually mentioning this early in the Patreon chat if you scroll up. Just recently, in the past month, I guess I want to say, I upgraded to PlayStation Premium. Actually, let me scroll up so I can actually remember to see what I fucking wrote. Because it was a list. I upgraded to Premium, bought 3 hopes. I was able to get my pre-order of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the special edition, through somehow. I'm still not entirely sure how that worked out.
Sorcery.
Yeah, black magic, clearly. And, I just, spent $40 ordering, 3 light novels today. Not to mention that we still have, Anniversary, OQ, and Summer coming up over that. And I absolutely refuse to stop buying audiobooks. I literally just bought one today. So I'm just I like these CEs, and I definitely wouldn't mind having more of them, but... And the idea of, being economical, I'm hoping, that's... Yes. What I'm actually hoping for is that at some point we'll actually get some of that merch that they had originally for 5th anniversary. Because if I remember correctly, didn't they have some sort of small art book that just had all the CEs in them?
Yes, I do believe they did that at some point. I would not be shocked if they didn't release it because obviously they released at least one of the CE Memorial books, which I own and paid money for from them. So hopefully they'll catch us up with the art.
Yeah, and if like that was to be released, I'd definitely throw money down on that.
Solid
Because because the art on the CEs is really, really good, and I really do enjoy them. It's just like, I have to weigh things.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing okay on my spending right now, but that won't last very long. I've been pretty good because my cardboard crack has been delayed heavily. I don't think there's any Yu-Gi-Oh! Products I'm interested in coming out until, like, maybe at the tail end of this month. But then they start coming out regularly, and I'm like, shit. But I like cardboard crack. It's funny, and it's so shiny.
Oh, shiny.
Also, the next, Power of the Elements, the next set is unbelievably based. There's good retro cards, there's good new shit. It's cool. I'll crack open some packs on it, some booster packs on the stream. Somebody will watch them. But yeah, so I completely understand. And then the great video gaming will come.
Yeah.
So that means that if you guys aren't dying to the great video gaming, consider throwing us a line, a bone. Give us a chip in on Patreon, on channel memberships. I double checked today. We are one member away from getting at least one more emote slot. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's 8 total because we have 7 currently, so it's only 1. But YouTube's phrasing is a little ambiguous. But yeah, we're literally 1 away from another emote slot upgrade. So consider joining the Tyrannites of Fluffle. That is spelled correctly. Yes. Like he was talking earlier about he doesn't know what to shill for, and I was like, listen, from my understanding, the people just want to see Lucky eat burritos. They don't even have to see it too. They just need to hear that you ate a burrito.
No, I have been particularly blessed. Sometimes I'll just be like, man, I want a burrito. And someone will like, here, burrito money. I'm like, oh, thank you. I do appreciate burrito money.
Okay, let's move on to our next segment. Did you finish your master missions? So, pretty basic stuff since we're in a little bit of a lull time. You need to defeat 20 enemies, not servants or certain bosses. And then 40 enemies, not servants or certain bosses. Get 3 good servants, 3 neutral servants, and then acquire 15 and 30 EXP cards. So, primarily, you can, I believe, hit all your servant requirements if you do the memorial quests. And if you do anything, you'll do the 20 and 40 enemies. So the main thing will probably be you have to take some time on your EXP dailies to get those EXP cards up. And if you really need to hit up your good and neutral, I do believe that one of the quests in Septum, let me double check. But I believe there's a Septum quest that'll get that for you pretty cheap if you really need to. But, like I said, it should be easily handleable through some basic stuff. Yep, Septum Massilia is 9 AP and has 2 goods and 4 neutrals. So, check that out if you want to slap those by really fast. And if not, happy hunting. Yeah, that reminds me, I've been so fucking busy, I need to take a day off, crack this thing open. One of our, great community members has offered to give me their hand-me-down GPU, but I need to double check that my power supply is good enough. Because it could be, but also it could not be. And I don't know exactly how cheap I was when I bought this machine. Or if it even came up. I don't know if I looked directly. I was looking more at RAM and HD size at the time. If it's not good enough, I have to double check if I can get a new one for this. Otherwise, I may have to just bite the bullet and buy a gaming PC, which I'm sure will cost me one of my kidneys or something. But okay, that is Master Missions. It's time for some news. Sorry, I had to wipe sweat from my brow. It's hot as usual. God, I hope this is slow, but also it could not be slow. My computer says that it's 82 degrees and partly sunny, and I'm like, it's almost 9 o'clock. Is it partly sunny? I think it's not, but it could be. Freaking summer. I'm going to take a drink of water, everybody, before we do the news.
Hydrate or dihydrate.
It's very important, especially, like I said, when it's so hot.
Well, actually, I make the Dog Days of Summer joke, but I actually did check it out. Actually, the official start of the Dog Days of Summer, which is basically just the, hottest part of summer, actually does begin this weekend. I believe it goes to late August. Yep. So, everyone, make sure you have, if you're in the summer side of the world, make sure you have plenty of water. Things are about to get hot. Consider investing in a inexpensive reusable bottle. Do what I did. Get a thermos and slap a bunch of big-ass anime women all over it. Make sure you wear a hat. Sunscreen appropriately. But alright, let's do Skelegrams. Yeah. In JP, as a follow-up, Nanmei Yumehari Hakkenden has officially started, going from the 29th to the 20th of July. That is a long-ass event. It's a long little point event. We gotta collect some doggos. Actually, that's already many dog memes, by the way. Point of order. Have they rerun Summer this year in JP? Yes, I think they did. Didn't they do it really early? Did they? Double check me. Was that this year?
Am I smoking crack? Am I talking whack?
Like, I've been trying to think if I remember it, but I can't, like, either it was, like, super early or
I know
they haven't done
one
it yet.
year they did super early. So no, they have not rerun the new summer. That is very interesting.
Interesting, because if I remember, JP anniversary is usually late July, early August, right?
Yes, in fact, I've got it later in my notes because they did some anniversary stuff on the stream as well that we'll talk about. But their events are blocked out for the 30th through 31st. So yeah, that's late July.
So that probably means that their rerun in New Summer is... Well, if I remember correctly, summer last year for JP was actually late, actually moving into September. So
yeah, it was like super delayed. So maybe they got some time. We'll see. We'll see how they shake things out. The main thing is for us, this is going to be weird in 2 years because of where our anniversary is placed. We are gonna have to make some wiggle room. I highly expect that our version of Hakkenden will probably be like the last week will run over our anniversary because they're gonna need to make sure there's some room to put in there because there'll be a lucky bag because I do believe that our new servant is limited. But speaking of new servants, we do have a banner. Pretty expected. We've got new SSR rider Kyokutei Bakin and also Lobo rate up and an Izo rate up. You know how that guy's supposed to be limited?
Well, they want, I guess, want people to give it a chance. I'm just more slightly nettled that they went with the author again. I was like...
I mean, technically, I think the author themselves is more famous than the work, because not only... Obviously, Fuzihime is cool, thanks Kokami, but Bakin is responsible for a lot of seminal Japanese literature. Collections of, poetry, critique, etc.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to figure out where that line is that FGO draws between using the author themselves and then, characters from their work. Because they don't.
Yeah, I feel like some of it may have to do with just familiarity. Like, we went with obviously like Sherlock Holmes is big in Japan, but we went with Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty and not say Arthur Conan Doyle. Yeah. Though also I don't know if the Arthur Conan Doyle estate would get upset about that.
That's a good point.
For Bakin, it's like, okay, so the Satomi Hakkenden's really famous, but also he wrote a lot of other shit, so I don't know. It's intriguing, interesting. We'll talk more about that new servant later. We do also got some rank ups, as you might expect from a new event. Lobo's monstrous strength now gives the attack up for 3 turns instead of 2. This bodes well for Astolfo stands everywhere. Also, my god, Medusa rank up as well. Remember, she exists. Give me more. But also it gives Lobo 20 to 30% damage up versus man-type enemies for the 3 turns. Now, I should specify, This is the man attribute, not the human or humanoid trait. So, actual historical characters from human history stuff, not just anybody man-shaped.
Well, it's good to have trait damage.
Yeah, it's good. But I don't necessarily want people to get the wrong impression about what Lobo does. No, it's for man-type servants. It's still good. And I think it applies to mobs that are, like, historical ones, but, it's open up there. Speaking of which, Izo's NP's got an upgrade. Now he's got a damage increase, and also does bonus damage to man-attribute enemies.
Did he really need it? From my understanding, he was a man-slaying motherfucker before.
Yeah, I think the only thing is he did have the humanoid damage trait before, so now he has the attribute damage, so you can, like, double up.
Terrifying.
Yeah, no, they're really drilling. He is absolutely a great single target arts monster with this, especially because, like I said, the damage upgrade was also tacked on there. His multiplier went up, so now his NP1 goes from 900 to 1200 by default. And if you have more NP levels, which you might, because as we said, they do actually give him rate ups quite a lot, it gets more and more.
Terrifying.
Yeah, that does hit a lot of writers. I guess that's pretty good. Izo's first costume is now in the RP shop. That's the one that's about to come up for us in NA. And yes, I have to specify first because Izo is one of those rare servants who has 2. That's how popular he is.
Everyone loves that fluffy boy.
How many servants have 2 costumes? It's not a lot. There's like Mash, technically.
Nero
has 2, yeah. Maeve has 2 now. Izo. Anybody else?
I feel like there's a couple more, but I'm trying to think.
I don't remember them is the problem, but they exist. Chat will fact check me, I'm sure. But also, if you're curious about, this banner seems maybe a little bit lean, only 1 new servant, I have heard quite a few people speculating there will be a second banner because the event is running so long. It seems like a fairly natural speculation. Because, like I said, long event is long. Sorry, sure, we can prevaricate. How long are we recording? We recorded for 20 minutes. I can prevaricate. So before camera, I was talking about, we were talking about the hilariously bad EA tweet the internet probably remembers. Well, I have just been informed that they have basically not deleted, but tried to reverse the curse. We've done a follow-up tweet. Rose Bowl deserved will take the L because playing single-player games makes you an 11. And I'm like, okay, you tried, sure.
I mean, it was an attempt.
Yeah, you know, I don't think you really, like, say sorry for, like, bad tweet jokes. That's not, I don't think that's the usual technical response to bad comedy. But being like, no, you're right. We got clocked. We'll take the L. And then, you know, drop the fucking, because you're an 11, baby, wink, is like, all right, fine, whatever. You're a social media manager for a giant corporation. But, continuing on with the FGO news. We did also, like I said, there was a stream. It was fairly lengthy. I skimmed the old archive because I think it played at like 7 a.m. my time. But they also had quite a lot of information about their anniversary, including more graphics, stages, talking about the CE themes. The CE themes, by the way, seem to be X character and Lost Belt Y style, so they showed up a handful. Chat, I'm sure you will post oodles and oodles of images. But you've got things such as, Arash and Lost Belt 3 style, Lancer Artorian Lost Belt 5 style, which is just Toga. But there's quite a few of them out there, and we've been getting like a drip feed just today as of this recording. Comma in, I think it's technically Lost Belt 2 style.
No, it's Lost Belt 1.
It is Lost Belt 1. Okay,
yes.
Makes sense because it's kind of like a Kigurumi style thing.
It's very fluffy.
Yeah,
blessed.
The reason why I had question marks is because a lot of people were comparing her design to Seatonai. But yeah, we've got Lost Belt 1 style comma, which is adorbs. There's a lot of fun stuff here that they're trying. So yeah, we're working on a drip feed of the themes. They got all the stuff coming out. They've announced that they've got a lot of big panels and stage events on the 30th and 31st of July. Probably future spoilers. Be careful, everybody, if you're trying to tune in. I know they're talking about like drama logs and readings and recaps for like Lost Belt 6 and stuff. So keep an ear out for self-spoilering. But we'll keep a lean on for any big news there. But they're ramping up as well. Also, not, really a deep cut, but a hilarious. Arcade is still going strong, or at least still going. They've apparently announced Summer Abigail banner. That's slightly funny.
Well, I guess technically there's nothing to keep them from coming out with new models and new characters, with like models and voice and costumes. I'm just more curious if they're actually going to be doing more story content, I think.
Yeah, I don't... Sorry, yawned. I don't know per se if there was supposed to be like an event around it. It was just part of the, they're doing all the like banners and stuff, the typical news, and it's just like, hey, arcade, woo, Summer Abby, look at her NP in 3D.
I really feel like we're probably getting some sort of arcade servant this anniversary.
I don't know, something I feel like. First of all, we're running very low on story relevant characters they can release. Like, I feel like not barring anybody new who came up in like 6.5, I wasn't thinking about. I think our roster of like actual factual storyline characters who are left is like main storyline, not necessarily specific Lost Belt banners or whatever, is like Rasputin, and oh gosh, I blanked a little bit. It's Rasputin and Gatia, right? That's what I'm thinking. If you want us to go into like back stuff, obviously they could slam jam a Tiamat anniversary. That would be very anniversary worthy. And also if they ever wanted to bring us like a Zeus or something, probably a good time. But those are like storyline specific stuff we don't know about. We'll see.
I'm excited.
Okay, is that if it's not Wodaime, you owe me $20, or I'm just joshing. But also, chat, if you people at home, comments, whatever, drop us a line if what your thoughts on the anniversary person are. I feel goods about a possible Tiamat, but we have been bamboozled before.
I mean, I feel like I'm constantly bamboozled.
The only thing we know is that if it's somehow a Lost Belt 6.5 servant, we should be slightly upset because they had plenty of time and plenty of banners to do all those.
Yeah.
This is not a Scotty situation. But yeah, so they're working through all that. We'll obviously get more clarity on like exact timing for classic. Exact timing for, anniversary tie-in and whatnot. Let me see if we have an exact time for our anniversary in NA time. Stram. Let me see. Yeah, we get the website, countdown campaign, the login bonus they did already. I am not seeing in News Desk a specific outline time for when the panel is exactly.
I'm pretty sure it's actually on. If you go, hang on. NA website here. Let me see here. Wait a minute. What's this? Oh, let's see here. There's the photo op.
There's a virtual thing that I don't understand at all because they called it the metaverse, and I have instant distrust of anything called metaverse because I'm pretty sure Mark Zuckerberg doesn't realize that he's the villain in a cyberpunk story. But anyway, that's a different commentary. Also, I'm reasonably certain they can't do Olga for raisins on account of we haven't actually finished that story yet.
I can't actually find when the panel is, but
yeah, I remember that it's had a time announced. It's just I don't know when's exactly it is. We'll know and we'll be letting you know and everything. There's social media and stuff. It will be streamed, so it'll show up sometime. I'm sure our Discord will be like, as soon as we've got a link, we'll be yelling it from the rooftops, as you do. And like we said, our current plan is to do like we said a reaction stream. We'll pip it in and we'll be there and we'll yell about stuff. But we have officially outlined the maintenance that will occur on anniversary because they've pre-announced it. So you'll still have a little bit of lead-up time. I believe the panel is only for like an hour or so at AX. Obviously, it'll be in the middle of the afternoon, West Coast time. But the maintenance kicks in at midnight Eastern, so usual server reset, and goes for 5 hours.
It's a big one.
Yeah, so it's a chunky maint. Like I said earlier, I joked about. I'm probably not even gonna bother logging in at night. I'm just gonna wake up in the morning and do it. Because Zam, that's a big one. But yeah, chunky update for anniversary outlined. Gonna have plenty of stuff there, so that should be good. Keep your eyes tuned for
here
everything.
It is. I found it. That's right, because it was posted on June 8th.
Christ.
Yeah, no.
Talk about calling your shot, y'all.
Yeah, let's see here. July 3rd at 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Yeah.
All right. And I do believe it's scheduled for an hour 20-ish, something like that. But yes, okay.
Yeah. Well, I said, on the 5-hour man, it makes sense. I was actually looking through some of the campaign stuff. There's a lot of stuff. Like, one of the things I was noticing, I believe this is the update where we're going to get the Saint fragments for, what was it? Zero AP pips? Or something like that? So it's going to be a lot of little things. Main quest, yes. So, and like other little quality of life. And also, who knows what other quality of life they're going to be bringing forward from the future.
Yeah, I think everybody feels pretty assured in the theory that we're getting revamped dailies early. They have already talked about how they want to do that. And, because of the Servant Coins update quite so early. And in interviews, Nissan has been saying, like, he wants to bring us, even more. They've been experimenting with more and more unique, like, any experience to spice it up for us. New banners, as in, new raid-ups, special tie-ins, stuff like that.
That's going to be exciting.
By the way, everybody, keep your eye on the social media post. We only got a few days left, and it's not quite there. So I believe it is currently the pinned tweet on FGO official Twitter, FateGo USA. That said, I'm pretty sure we're probably going to get it even if the actual real post misses, because they did a quote retweet of an art post, which probably confused some people. But the post of Nami's art to celebrate the anniversary got all the number of reactions like on its own. So I think FGO's goal of social media presence has been achieved. It's just, is it being achieved on the right tweet? Is, on the right Facebook post? We'll see.
We will see.
Also, that's only 12 Saint Courts, so that's nice, but not vital. What's, going to be important is how many Saint Courts Papa Nissan is bringing to us. I do believe somebody commented about your comment earlier that we're getting 200 Mana Prisms this anniversary? Part of our big old package of stuff.
Oh, stuff. I'm excited.
So, that'll be nice.
It'll be very nice.
I'm here for more rank ups to scratch off. Obviously, big Quartz Infusions on a banner, because I'm ready to do haha funny art stuff.
Oh, please let me not have to fucking spend money. Please! Please! Ugh!
Yeah, you are one of the most prepared with your NP5 Vlad.
Mhm.
The original art steeps. But with my NP2 Summer Musashi and getting Dioscuri, who I was not aiming for but did get, that's I'm definitely clocking in for the good arts as well. Hey, guess what? When you have an arts DPS with a lot of hit counts with free Pierce Invul, that's good. That's a good support.
Oh, excuse me.
Ooh, we got another extra little yeah, I don't know if Squirtoria is mentioned specifically, but guys, spoiler for one if you're watching this. Go watch the one if you want more details, but here's the Castoria secret. If you have an arts unit you have invested in and you are willing to invest in your Castoria, you can use literally anyone. That's how good Castoria is. You can use literally any arts unit if you're willing to put in the time and level Castoria's skills. Like, that's it. That's all you need. This is some real cruise control shit. So, yeah. Also, yes, the patrons I'm talking about can already watch the video, I think. But, yeah, it's in there. Like, you can do so much so long as you have the time and the ability to invest. This is why you may have noticed some people losing their mind about how many eggs they have. Because if you're wondering what the balance factor on Castoria is, it's that Delightworks / Lasengel has given you a lot of mats to exchange to max out her skills. That's the balance factor. You gotta farm. Yeah. No, it's pretty fun. So we're gonna have a good time, but if you guys are out there, like I said, I am prepared to farm blue cookies to get everybody up, because I will also be maxing out my Tamamo as well with her skills, or at least some of her skills. I don't know if I can max out all of them and Castoria at the same time, but we'll try.
We'll try.
At the very least, skill 3. That's the fun one.
Beep beep.
That's the one where you get plus 100% arts and also a heal if you use her with Castoria. Again, numbers crazy. But that is, I think, everything for our main FGO news. Obviously, we will be continuing to watch the news cycle, and like I said, we have plans for the anniversary announcement, so we'll catch you up on that as soon as it happens.
Uh-huh.
You'll have plenty of time to watch the one, and like I said, it's already uploaded. If you are at a certain patron level, you can already watch it. I will make it public, but probably as soon as we're done with our reaction stream or whatever, and you'll have plenty of maintenance time to catch up on it. And I hope you guys are, like I said, are ready for me to pronounce Tentacle a lot. Because Castoria is a weird character. I mean, I think she makes sense in the context of Lost Belt 6. I mean, dropping her, like, literally a year before her main story comes out makes it weird to talk about her. But anyway, that's a discussion for later. This has been Skelegrams.
And with that, we're going to move swiftly on to mailbag. So everyone, sit down, buckle up, and make sure you wear deodorant, because it is time for this week's Let's Talk FGO mailbag, the segment where we read what you have to say and comment accordingly.
Yeah,
this
with
week,
that comment about dog days, the deodorant is definitely important.
Yes, it is.
I recently had to buy me a new stick of deodorant. It's Old Spice. It's got some
Actually,
kick.
which one am I using right now? I don't know. I don't remember.
I prefer Old Spice, but I need to remember to get their sport model, because their
Sports.
while it was slightly cheaper, their default brand has a little bit more of a kick, and I'm like, ooh, okay, very spicy, Old Spice, thank you. But hey, at the least I smell like Old Spice and not sweat.
No. So this week we have a lovely number 12. It seems like our number is dropping. Do people not want to talk to us? Am I too abrasive? Do I make you all feel bad?
I don't know how you can be abrasive. The mailbag post is like so short and sweet. You just got the rules and the freedom and the whatever. It's fine. Maybe people just don't have anything to say because they're in too much of a existential panic about Castoria.
It could be. I mean, this is, well, I'm not going to say it's 0 hour, but we're getting there.
It's a big one. This is like right up there with Merlin banners, Jolter banners, Scotty banners. Like, this is one of the big ones.
But anyway, let's get started. And we will start with a master welcoming a very huge and adorable soccer face to his Chaldea, and hoping Pashlip doesn't get too jealous of her big sister. So I'm actually trying to remember which one is, like, who is the oldest one. What is this? I don't actually know.
Yeah, I don't actually remember the order. BB does have an order. It's not like she made all 5 at once. I think KP was actually earlier.
Filthy Casual does have a point. Pretty sure we're going to get a lot of mail next week talking about how easy or disastrous Castoria came for people. True enough.
Yes, I expect we'll get a lot of the one comments as well. At least this time, I highly doubt I will have to worry about seeing a lot of cool but not gonna roll comments. We do unfortunately get that one quite a bit with Wanted.
But they say, hey, Lucky Mega, hope you're both in good spirits and health. I mostly recover from COVID, so that's the relief. Very nice. Well, my question this week is, are Nordic runes considered a type of magecraft? If so, then I believe Sigurd is the first saber who is proficient in magecraft, which I believe sabers were initially not supposed to be. Fun trivia aside, happy early 4th of July, and I'll see you next week. Short answer, yes, runes are considered a type of magecraft, but there is a difference. You can actually see this this is actually well explained with Skahawk skill, actually, primordial runes. There is kind of runic magic that was, from the Age of Gods, and then the runic magic that is used in a more modern society.
Yes, Sigurd did learn the primordial runes from Brunhilde, but he only applies them in a certain way. Yes. You can see this discussed in Lost Belt 2, actually, where he talks about how he would never ever use the fire rune.
Yeah, there's actually a fair amount of characters actually, it might not be... The thing is FGO is in some ways a poor representation of a character's abilities and strengths, because everything has to be dumbed down to a few passives and 3 skills and maybe a noble phantasm. Like, for example, even though we have a Ku caster who uses rune, it is known that, Lancer Ku does know enough about runes to cast a fire rune and, burn himself alive instead of what was it, a church? Was it the church? It was somewhere underneath.
No, I think it was in the castle.
It was in the castle.
Go watch the Unlimited Bladeworks anime. He does multiple runecraft. He also does a tracking rune.
Yeah.
Like a cool boy. But yeah, no. Having had to answer this question recently, no, sabers are not necessarily supposed to qualify with magecraft, but there's no actual, restriction that they don't, because that's not how class containers work. And technically, I would say Sigurd is not the first, because Nero's existed for a long time. She was not classed as caster for her summer on a lark. That's actually a reference to her bond dialogue in Extella, where she talks about how she had a magecraft teacher who would have taught her to be a proper magus. It's just that would have required her to do, secretive mage shit and not be an incredibly flamboyant emperor. So there is a history of characters with the option to do magecraft being in other classes. Hell, like I said, Ku has been around since the OG. That's, he's been doing that in all the routes going back to FSN. So it's a little loosier-goosier. If you want to know what I found out about Artoria on this matter, go ahead and check out that Wanted. Yeah, Merlin is better at slinging swords than he is about casting spells. Because he bites his tongue. Lazy dork. So but, I'm pretty sure he taught Artoria how to sword fight, so.
Probably. I mean, he was just carrying around, he does just have this habit of carrying around swords for some odd reason.
Listen, to throw a fireball at a guy, you gotta remember the words and say the thing and summon your magical energy. If you want to stab a guy, you just stab him. You don't have to yell. Which actually does make sense, because in the Gnostiverse, magecraft is actually, quite complicated. The power of your spell is determined by how many steps and weird stuff is in it.
And you got people like Amy Shiro's, whose magic is swords. What the actual fuck?
Element, sword.
Here, let me take you to the literal elemental plane of swords.
That is what Unlimited Bladeworks is. Yo, dog, I heard you like swords, so I put swords on your swords, so I can sword while we sword. Gilgamesh is just like, you did what, mongrel?
So, let us move on. This next one comes from the master who had a Jabberwocky stuck in his head for a week. That happens. Lucky might have spent a few nights in bed just staring at the ceiling and just go, snicker snack.
In response to a comment about this elsewhere in the Discord, I did say snicker snack, bitch. There it is. And it is entered into our lexicon. Somebody has screen capped it with my current profile picture, which is, if you guys don't know, or you're listening to this later, currently my Discord profile picture is a picture of Castoria with double red lens flares, both her and her hat.
Why does her hat have lens flare, by the way?
Oh, because her hat has, little eyes.
Does it?
Yeah, it's got, little buttons on it. So I was like, I'll replace those with lens flares because it'll be funnier.
Hang on, I have to enhance.
Quality shit posting. I think I tweeted the original image. Yeah, she's got, little buttons on her hat, which are vaguely eye-like. So I was like, I did the regular lens flare, and then I was like, wait, I can make this funnier. Enhance.
I think it never really clicked with me, because I always think I most of her... I see a lot of her in her second ascension, I think.
Yeah. And a little bit in the third.
Yeah. Right. But they say, Dear Vopal Omega and I'm gonna mispronounce this. Omega, help.
I've always heard it as Manxome, but
Mixome.
like
And Mixome. Mixome lucky. No question this week, just sending you the good vibes. Wah, 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 wah. And wishing you well. Thanks and keep up the great work. No, you keep up the great work. I appreciate you being here.
Claps, firm handshakes, back pats all around, everybody.
So we move on. This next one comes from a mouse that looks up to the sky, dreaming that stars can become quartz.
All the stars in the sky are quartz.
Yeah, out of reach. Oof. Greetings, Lucky Omega. I hope you both are doing well this summer and that you're staying hydrated. Yes, I hope you are as well. I'm going to double down on this. As someone who did their fucking military basic training in the fucking summer, that was drilled into me. So I will drill it into everyone else.
There is a reason that I'm fairly certain part of it was because of our conflicts in desert countries, but there's a reason why the camelback is like ubiquitous now is because the military really wanted to perfect that technology. Drink water.
Listen, you don't understand like how many people do not actually drink enough water in their day. Like honestly, I guarantee that 90% of people do not actually drink enough water in the day. So drink more water.
I know I do. I drink water like crazy.
But this person goes on to say, my question is, with how Kano/Nissan is getting involved little by little with FGO-NA, his appearance at AX, and his FGO dev diaries, do you feel he might give us something unexpected or a helpful quality of life feature that will incentivize new players to keep going on FGO? I hope you both will be well, and I look forward to future posts. Nissan, like I said, like if you haven't noticed, and whenever like the localization and development team here for North America, we have been getting like I don't necessarily think it's an idea of incentivizing, but they have been making an effort to push certain quality of life features early. I almost want to say controversially, because like I said, we got servant coins. God, what was it like?
A year and a half early, I think.
Year and a half early to a point we didn't even have all the mats for that, and they're constantly
and then what did those crazy motherfuckers do? Oh, well, we'll just add all those mats into the game and start doling them out in monthlies a year early. Like literally, that first month with the Oni lanterns, those don't come out until Heian-kyo in December this year. Like that's 6 months early. Lost Belt 6 stuff, that's this month. Not until a year from now. It's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's necessarily an idea of incentivizing, but I think that what they're trying to do is definitely get things that they find that people definitely like and want, and trying to get it to us early. That was how it was with the back button. That's how it was with I'm pretty sure there's other quality of life that we really wanted that was day one, but now that it's already passed, I can't think of it.
Back button, I think some of the speed stuff we've gotten, like I think we got some different speed switches, like I think NP speeds and stuff were faster. Animations obviously have always been early for us, and the servant coins. And I want to point out, I'm not sure about the exact specifics in Single, but waiver pre-buff, lots of stuff like that, little fixes. The important thing to note is that Kano-san, he was the like head director of FGO during Shimosa, but I believe he stepped back during parts of Part 2. He is the head of the global FGO team, though. Like, that is, I believe it is his current job description, if anybody remembers exactly, that he heads up the, like, overall, how is FGO doing everywhere kind of thing, right? Like, they have a different director whose name escapes me at the moment for, actual, like, the nitty-gritty of Part 2 and, like, making sure the story is coordinated and those updates come. And Nissan is, part of coordinating all this. Obviously, he's still a big social media presence. He shows up on all the streams in JP, but he's also been, working on improving his English. He shows up in several dev diaries over here. They're bringing him to AX. I hope he has a great time. Though I admit, funnily enough, with the stream, because he also appeared on that, I couldn't help but thinking, because that was, Wednesday night, right?
Yeah.
I can't help but thinking, man, I wonder what his plane schedule is like, because it's a long fucking flight from Japan to LA. And he's got to be in this country by Sunday. And I assume he doesn't want to, get off a fucking 12-hour plane flight and go immediately to AX. So, hopefully somebody is coordinating travel for him in a productive voice.
But no,
a lot of effort on bringing us special stuff.
Like I said, I don't think they're... honestly, personally, I don't think there's anything anybody can do in particular to incentivize people to keep on playing besides doing all I'm doing, especially since we already have 2 years of content ahead of us. They really can't change that up.
Yeah, I think the primary thing if you want to like incentivize new players is just do what JP does anyway, regularly refresh Returning Master and Start Dash campaigns, like be like, hey, like set up a designated time to be like, hey, now is a good time to get back into FGO. Now is a good time to start FGO, that kind of stuff, because humans are notoriously wishy-washy. It's why in like crisis response you're supposed to like point at a civic person and tell them to call an ambulance or something. If you just shout call an ambulance, nobody will do it because they think somebody else will do it, right?
Right.
Like, but if you specifically say, hey, now is a good time, you know, we could make sure to do that. But yeah, they do that like twice a year. I think they do also do it at some millions of downloads campaigns. So that's only the real key incentive. The main thing I think is just to keep doing the stuff that they're doing, you know, making sure to do dev diaries, appearances at conventions now that those are open. There are stages at AX and stuff. You can get photos as usual, all that kind of fun stuff, you know. And I think that these, like, special banners and more globally appropriate tie-ins, like, you know, remembering to celebrate when something happens in, you know, Australia or Southeast Asia, something happens in North America, right? Like, those are just good things to put those out there on our general community circuits. And, you know, let people know about FGO if they don't know. Like, yeah, like the back to school campaign, stuff like that. Those are small, but those do offer a way for them to, like, put FGO in people's heads. Oh, FGO's doing a little thing today, you know? Other than that, I honestly think JP really, handles the bulk of their marketing by producing fucking Slamajam CMs, you know, which are brilliantly animated and wonderfully soundtracked. And, the other stuff they do, right? Like, just producing the actual story content. That's really all you need. As we've discussed, FGO is really sold by the story, so if you're not interested in the story, you won't play FGO, I don't think. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, that's a good question. I was reminded of something else. Somebody was talking about the dancing app. Yeah, I do. We also have 5-hour maintenance. I do hope we get an announcement about that. Like I said, I feel like they have to acknowledge it in some form with the collab coming next year. We've discussed this at length before. I don't think they necessarily have to bring over Dancing and Moonlight, but they have to, like, at least acknowledge it somehow. And since it is, I believe, a still permanent app, it's something they could do. I guess the question is if they want to announce it, because in Japan, they did a limited release first, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was a limited number of downloads, and then they said, I kind of hope they don't do the limited number of downloads thing, because that's the kind of thing that makes people get the agita. But it is a way to generate hype, but yeah. Hey, we'll see what the man has for us. He's, like I said, he's finally made his way to America. They've been talking about it for years.
Yeah. I hope no one's being a fucking ass.
Well, you know.
Listen, once in a... I know.
If you happen to be anywhere near AX, don't be an asshole to Nissan. The man has literally flown like 18 hours to get to you. And he's bringing free Saint Quartz. No matter what, the dude has like 30 Saint Quartz in his pocket. I'm just reminding, there's that one thing you can do in Assassin's Creed where you just throw coins on the ground and everybody runs to you. I'm just imagining Nissan walking through the fucking con like that, but with Saint Quartz, just boom!
I mean, if I could get some prop plush Saint Quartzes, I would totally just keep them in my pocket and be all like, smoke bomb! Pocket quartz!
Ah! There's money in my eyes! Ah!
Sorry, yeah. Lucky's gonna once again shout out the Necrotic Apocalypse series by David Petrie, because in the fourth book someone does yell pocket sand. It throws.
Oh my god, they do the pocket sand meme.
Yeah.
10 out of 10, 100 out of 100.
Pocket sand.
Fucking love pocket sand. Somebody posted the GIF already. Pocket sand. When in doubt, pocket sand, everybody. Okay, this is like our third question.
I mean, man, I'm going to FAP. You can't stop me.
That's fair.
I want people to read this series because I really loved it. I was crying last night.
Hey, and listen. You know me. I love the time. Mm-hmm. We like the watch. We're almost at an hour raw.
Okay, but let us see. Where are we now? Ah, here we are. Is that Terry Crews? I can't tell.
No, that's from Luke Cage. I forgot the name of Luke Cage's voice actor. Yeah, no, that's in the second season. A guy actually does pocket sanding. Only it's more like pocket drugs.
Drugs. All right, so moving on. This next one comes from the guy wondering what support casters makes the most smooth brain master. All of them.
Probably, yeah.
Hi, Loki and Mega. Hope
push button, do thing.
Do thing. Hi, Loki and Mega. Hope you're enjoying the long 4th of July weekend. Weekend. I still got to go to work on Monday.
Guys, I'm self-employed. I don't get holidays.
Was there any character in FGO whose voice was not what you imagined? For me, is when I hear Goldorf voice in the PV for the third Lost Belt. Also, would you prefer having a single Seiyu with a wide voice range, voicing multiple characters, or have each character with a different Seiyu?
Well, for the second one, I would say that's probably up to the casting directors, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
whatever they think fits the character better.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm about. Whatever fits the character best, I think. I mean, I have my short list of voice actors and actresses that, I prefer hearing to, and when I hear their dulcet tones, I'm all like, yas!
Yeah.
But, whatever best. I am definitely at a point, though, with voice actors, especially Japanese voice actors, where I'm like, I hear this voice, I know I've heard this voice before, but I can't remember a name, because I'm horrible with names, and it pisses me off. To the extreme.
And FGO doesn't help, because there's about 350 characters in it.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that a big game like FGO will occasionally get, relative newcomers, But as to the first one, I'm trying to think. There have been a couple. I think the most recent one was Constantine, actually, because he's very soft boy looking, but he actually has quite a deep voice. I think that surprised a couple of people. I think there's some other examples, but I can't remember them right now. Maybe Zhang Yu, because he's a giant robot centaur man, and he sounds completely normal. Like they didn't even modulate his voice anyway.
Expecting that reverb?
Yeah, that was a little surprising, because I think we talked about this when he was first announced. He, looks like a fucking Dark Souls boss, and then he's just talking like a guy. It was a little shocking.
I think the one that I can actually say I was the most surprised about was probably Bradamante, because I was not expecting that high a voice. But I think that's the only one I can say, I would say, genuinely surprised me.
Oh, yeah, Hans is funny, but I knew the jokes already. But that's because, arguably, that's like a crossover meme, basically.
Yeah.
Because,
well, I still think Bradamante's voice is fine, Axe. It's just that I was surprised by it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because you kind of get those expectations right. Like, Astolfo is already, literally voiced by a woman, but also it's Rumi Okubo, who is, very up there and energetic. But, Bradamante's going for like a bubbly performance.
Oh, sorry, I had to do a bit of a stretch there.
That's fine.
But let us move swiftly on. So this next one comes from Just Tired.
Mood.
What they say. First question. Have you ever done a CQ or boss fight that you thoroughly enjoyed? Short answer, yes. There are many boss fights that I enjoy. This is why I constantly wish that we had a memory maker where we could just go fight old bosses again.
Yeah. Quite a few boss fights are fun.
Yeah. But, they go on to say, the gravitational sphere of yearning, 1 to 9 was pretty good. Also, the summon CQ that starts you off against Nobu, Fran, and Helen at the front. Would EX... Are they trying to say example or something else? I'm not sure.
I don't know the context.
Anyway, would EX enemy randomizers be fun as in-game content? When it comes to other games that you play, what makes them fun to keep replaying? Second question, how much bait is the CE banner, and are you going to roll on it? I guess technically I would say that the CE banner is technically bait, but it's purely for collection purposes.
Yeah.
But if you enjoy the collecting, and considering they are 4-star CEs, you probably won't break yourself unless you literally try to go for every single one of them.
Yeah, no, it's just a little it's an interesting thing you can do. Like you said, I guess it's kind of bait because it is not a servant rate up. Even it's trying to get you into that little collecting aspect.
Yeah,
but
yeah, if I was in a better place financially, I would roll for a better game. Like I said, I'm spreading too thin. I got books, audio books, video games,
hobbies. I would say spoiler, but it's not because I already said it. It's unspoiler. Go back in time and rewatch the episode. I already threw 5 or 6 tickets at it, I think. So yeah, that answers that one. As for endgame content, I mean, I would say for FGO, randomized enemies actually sounds awful. Because class advantage and stat comp and trait comp is really important. So there are some servants who are better at just generic stuff, but a lot of what makes some servants really good is actually their niche play. And if your enemies are randomized, you can't really do niche play, right? Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think that's where a lot of the strength in FGO's units lies, is that they they come up and they regularly invent new niches by programming new traits in. For instance, Mixa and the mechanical trait took them like 6 years. So it's an interesting idea that as like a funny thing I could see. I don't know if I would want to count that like endgame content because that sounds like it just arbitrarily narrows your amount of servants that are good at stuff, or makes you feel frustrated because you try to build a team and then you don't get the stuff. Honestly, I feel like this second part of this question probably more applies with you, Lucky, because you play a lot more like MMOs than I do. Like for FGO straight up, the thing that keeps me playing FGO is more story and events, and new stuff, just to try out and get new things. For other games, it's usually like what keeps me playing is like core gameplay loop, but we've talked at length. I don't know if FGO's core gameplay is certainly fun. I don't know if it's fun enough that I would play FGO just for the gameplay, right?
Oh, no, FGO's gameplay is actually ultra simplistic.
Yeah. It is designed to be a simple vehicle for the story and stuff.
Yes. Oof. But no, like, if we're talking in general about games and whatnot, no, what keeps a game, like, for me personally, replayable is, of course, core gameplay and mechanics. Like, I was talking about this earlier. Before I got 3 Hopes, I was actually spending a lot of time on the PS2 game Dark Cloud 2, also known as Dark Chronicle overseas. And the thing I always loved about that is it actually, tickled a lot of the little things that I enjoyed about the little things that I enjoy. It has a mechanic where you craft towns. It has a mechanic where you can craft and upgrade weapons. It has mini golf. It has fishing. It has a bunch of little things. And like that was a game I was literally able. Like it was one of the games I saw and I was like, I saw it in the premium package. And I was like, I really want to play that again. And I was able to like pick up and go. Like it's current, like it's still going on, even though I'm playing 3 Hopes right now. It's still, going on rest mode. We're just waiting me to get back to it. So, I think that's the thing. Like I can put like games, like other certain games, like even though if I really enjoy them, I wouldn't necessarily replay them because, I don't know if I say this often, but it is something I do say to people who ask about replaying game is you can only experience a story for the first time once. And like after that, sometimes you just kind of lose the magic or it doesn't hit the same way. Like I had this with, Persona 5. And I really never was interested, even though I always wanted to go back and platinum it because I am a gamer and I want a big E-peen. I never could do it because I was like,
Yeah, that's, especially with Persona, that's like another 80 to 100 hours you have to invest, right?
Yeah. But when Royal came out, because they had new story and new story base, I was all like, yes. And Royal, I was like, when I got to the extra content, I was just floor for a while. I was just like, why? Why is this? But now that I've done it, I'm like, I can't go back to that. This is one of the reasons why I do enjoy my shitty memory sometimes, because even if I don't actually fully forget things, I can eventually go back. This is one of the reasons why I can enjoy games like Resident Evil 4 and Dead Space and stuff, because they have the jump scares and action segments. I'm all like,
yeah, their storytelling's a little looser, and a lot of the enjoyment is in the action gameplay, like you said,
yes,
which lends itself to like replayability, because you'll probably forget the jump scares after 40 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead. I didn't have a good follow-up thought.
So for games like FGO, it's not necessarily an issue of replayability, because I keep playing because I always know that there is more content incoming. I just have to wait for the time. And to my detriment, that probably means that between stories and between events, I probably do not put as much time into FGO as I should. This is why I'm often behind on mats and QP and embers and stuff, because while, others are studying the 3-turn setup, Lucky's out, gallivanting in Final Fantasy 14 and 3 Hopes and whatnot. But the moment that FGO throws down that new event, I'm like, I'm there.
Yeah. And FGO, I think, does enough with, like, speaking about, like, getting people in, does enough with, like, half AP and other stuff to be like, hey, we don't really have a new event this week, but we do have, like, bonuses on non-event gameplay if you want to get in there, right? And I'm just like, yep. That incentivizes me to come back. And that is why I wanted to bring up the MMO thing, because that's like, FGO, I don't know if you want to call it games as a service, because it kind of is, but it's not because there's not a, like, built-in... You cannot in any way subscribe to FGO. There is no way to continually hand FGO money. You just buy Saint Courts or you don't. Like, the closest we come is the fact that they have very clearly defined times when they do pay to GSSR, right?
Right.
But other than that, there's no, like, strict, flat money curve for FGO. But it is definitely in that vein where, like, between actual event drops, FGO just has kind of its normal core gameplay stuff, and it doesn't really necessarily go out there. I don't imagine a time when we've got, like, FGO is, like, feature complete that, like, people will just run farming to fill out their, like, last couple servants or something. Also, not to say that, like, I don't think FGO would be, like, feature complete. We joke about Nasu, you know, taking his fire axe to the servers. No, because I highly doubt when we hit our completion of the current storyline that, you know, they'll have managed to do, like, every rerun ever that they wanted to do, right? Stuff like that. So There'll probably be a dovetail on that as well, even if we clear main story and they don't come up with other story-type stuff. There will be event reruns and other nonsense to take care of. But, you know, there's, I think, a lot of opportunity in that they just, you know, give you the content drops and move on, and it's not like you just play the complete game. I guess they could try for, like, a plateau-type stuff, like the equivalent of what people call endgame content for, like, MMOs, but FGO is also not really like that, right?
Right.
So it's not a one-to-one. Because to wax a little philosophical, you know, to keep faffing, the reason why you call it endgame content in the MMO is usually because there is a level cap, there is a, like, end state to every patch release, because the releases are usually done in, like, big chunks, right?
Right.
Either X packs or patches. WoW has obviously, I think, kind of pioneered the X-Pack model that a lot of games have followed. But the reason why they call it endgame is because you've released the end of the current patch. Well, guess what? When FGO updates, the endgame is whatever the last boss of the story or event release is. It's like the CQ. So we have new endgame content all the time. But as Lucky brought up earlier, you can only really do that once. Mm-hmm. Until they bring a way for you to, like, consistently replay boss battles outside of special events. The end game is over once you clear the story or event. There's, you know, obviously most CQs you can try multiple times on the cheap for, like, different comps or whatever, but it's not really, you know, that complex. So I don't know if it's a, like, you know, one-to-one comparison, you know, calling FGO endgame content. I think we've talked about this before and waxed on it. FGO is a very weird case when it comes to games, because I would not say, like we said, that the gameplay is, like, super engrossing or anything. It's fun enough, it's simple, and I appreciate that it's, like, easy to grasp, but you know, it's not the same as, like, hey, I, you know, will throw in Titanfall 2 randomly when I don't feel great and go play, like, a couple rounds of multiplayer because, hey, Respawn is just that good, right?
Right.
Like, it's not like I played the shit out of the original Destiny, mostly because they did the Game of the Year updates and stuff, and I can get all the X-Packs. Bungie, come on. Sony bought you. Please, help me out here. I don't have to shell out, like, $100 for, like, 5 X-Packs, speaking of MMO updates. But I played that game back when the story was pretty shitty and bare bones because Bungie was that good at the FPS gameplay loop, right? Like, the game just played that good. FGO is not quite that. Like I said, if there was literally no new story updates to FGO, if it was just new units and they came up with, like, dailies and event reruns, I would probably stop playing, if I'm honest with myself.
Same.
Honestly, I have quit gacha games whose characters I like and whose gameplay I like, but did not grip me with the story.
I'm having this problem with Azure Lane right now, actually, personally.
Yeah, honestly, that's why I quit Azure Lane. I really love the ship girls and the history, but the events were not super interesting to me. And they required a decent amount of time investment for all this stuff. I kind of feel the same about Arknights. Like, it was hard to get enthused for everything because the Arknights story was really depressing. So even if, you know, they do stuff like release Mudrock, I'm still like, okay, that's cool, I roll, but then I don't want to do anything with this character besides just grind dailies, and that's dull to me. There are games I like way better that I can do that at. Have they been improving of late? That's cool. I still don't think I'm going to get back into that game. People are just saying letters now. Words. I don't even know. All right, let's move on to that one. I think we discussed that question thoroughly.
Mm-hmm. So, moving on. This next one comes from King of Apples, who's going to beat the trend and start prepping for the extra meta. They go on to say, question. It seems that the Grand Servants that are summoned by the planet, not Romulus Queerness, are connected to the beast that is present. Solomon as the origin of modern Minecraft, and Gatia as the end result of the game, Gramps as the bringer of death, the T-Man as the source of life, Orion as the best hunter, and Vitch as the ultimate animal. Is there something that we can use to guess the future Grand, since we know B7, or speculate possible one, since we know both beats 3 RNL? Well, first off, you're making some weird weird connections here.
I think those are kind of direct. Like, it's fairly well foreshadowed that Orion was, especially once we meet her in the second half, and she reveals that she's a beast for sure. I am fairly certain that Orion was summoned to deal with Vitch, but he had to tap out early for other reasons, because that whole story is that complex.
I don't know about that, because then why wouldn't he been summoned earlier or later?
Oh, I think it had to do with the summoning on the ley lines, like, because she was chilling in there, and then we were summoning a bunch of servants. But I don't know. It's like, what in that case, why did Solomon show up to deal with Gatia way at the end, right?
Well, I think that's a choice that Romani made, because that plan was put in a link. Because
I'm gonna be honest, I think this person has some merit to the connections, but I think we're not accounting for the fact that the Grand Servants are like thinking beings. Because technically, I think Nasu has said in interviews that Gramps technically stopped being Grand Assassin when he helps us in Camelot, but that just he keeps following us to Babylonia to do his part because he is still a guy who was picked as Grand, right? So
that he only helped us because we had the right mindset.
Yeah. So I think that the counterforce does prepare appropriate Grand Servants, but like we said, we're unclear on like when exactly they get activated and decide, because ultimately most of the Grands we've run into decide to pitch in of their own merit. Like Orion himself, even though it is suggested, I do agree it is not explicitly stated, that he's supposed to be helping us out with our confrontation with Vitch later, because he says he has something else to do. He decides to use up his grandiness in order to help us against Artemis, because that's something he personally wants to do, even then, like, we summon Romulus Queerness with a ritual, but then he's like, no, y'all, I'm gonna help you out with Big Zam and Chaos, and not beasts. He helps us out with something else. So it's kind of open-ended. Same with, like, talking about beasts R and L. Guess what? The Counterforce didn't summon any Grands to deal with that. I don't really think the Counterforce did anything to do with Beast 3L. That was all. Well, again, that was all us and Gorf Punch.
Well, I think it's always, again, like, remember I think always the thing about, like, to think about the Counterforce is it only sends what you need and not one iota more or less. Correct.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't necessarily think it's necessarily a theme, but we just get what we need when we need it, where we need it, even if we might not understand it. And I don't think this necessarily means anything of a prediction. It's not anything of a prediction.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything to predict, because I do want to say this. I do believe it's fairly firmly outlined that the way you qualify for Grand is having a special quality. Orion, like, obviously he has, some of his noble phantasms, but his ability to, like, hunt any animal is probably what he qualifies as, like, a Grand Archer, because he has unique abilities that would help against beasts. Gramps is very unique. We know explicitly, because servants who are casters discuss it, that the qualification for Grand Casters to do with clairvoyance. Also, yes, Arcade did say that Noah was their Grand Rider to deal with their beast, but I believe he had to tap out early because I guess Queen Draco was just that tough in their Babylonia chapter.
But Assassin is the ability to kill anything, which Gramps definitely would qualify for.
Yeah, the ability to bestow death on any creature with his Angel of Death powers. That is another funny thing if we think about it. Like, technically, grand servants still have to be summoned so you can interfere with their summoning. I think that's been implied to happen a couple times with some people. So there's a lot of wiggle room. And to be fair, you don't have to be a grand to compete. Somebody brought up that in CCC, Emiya Alter was summoned as a counter guardian, as you'd expect. Arthur, regular Proto Arthur, is straight up hunting some part of Beast 6, just falling around timelines, yelling, "Get back here!" So there's a lot of wiggle room in this anti-beast process. We know that at the height of it, you can summon 7 grands to deal with one bad thing. And I don't know, that could be like similar to how, we summoned like every servant we ever met ever. That could be like a conclusion to the Lost Belt series, is we summon every grand we've met ever to fight Beast 7, which would be cool because that means, we'd get it would be either Gaety as King of Humans or Solomon would come back. But anyway, I don't know if they're going to do that, but there's a lot of like wiggle room in this area. I do believe that perhaps some of our actual matchups between Grands and Beasts have been thematic, but while obviously there's the like modern Magecraft result of Magecraft thing with Solomon and Gaetia, that's like oversimplifying the fact that Solomon and Gaetia have a very personal relationship, right?
Right.
Like that's the actual point, is that the Goetic demons were made by Solomon as like part of his work, and they see themselves as his ultimate creation. He's just like, no, you fucked it up, buddy. You
missed the point.
You tried real hard. I appreciate that. I'm sorry. I gave you you had a rough job, but you've goofed it up a little here, buddy. And I'm gonna have to send you back to God. I'm a healer and a king, but we're going back. But yeah, there's, like I said, there's a lot of wiggle room. I think there's some merit to the point, but also, God, FGO is just whatever the fuck we want, isn't it?
Thanks, Nasu.
Yeah. Nasu not even writing for this motherfucker anymore, and it's still whatever the hell.
Still gonna blame him.
Somebody asks Mr. Nasu for input, he's just like, just the mushroom in a lotus pose. Do whatever you think is coolest, bro.
Rule of cool.
You want to defeat the enemy with, like, a dinosaur riding a ball? That's rad, bro. That's an Akira Toriyama reference, by the way. Not that guy also doesn't run off whatever he and his editors think is cool. But okay, we talk that one to death for sure.
Let's take Journey to the West and then Aliens. Perfect.
Yes, we're gonna be inspired by works of classical Chinese and Japanese literature, and then I'm gonna write a sci-fi battler show in the middle. Just wildly pivot my genre. Why? I don't fucking know.
Space is cool. All right, but let us move on.
We are continuing on.
So this next one comes from Moon is throwing hands with the side of her brain that pushes negative thoughts forward when she's in a good mood. They say, question, hello there, Omega and Lucky, hope you're doing well. What's something that you used to hate but now love and appreciate? Could be food or TV show or anything really. Personally for me, it's mostly certain types of food since I was a super picky eater growing up. Bleh. Something I used to hate but now love. Well, I can't really say I love it, but when I was a kid, I definitely hated spicy food. It drew all my black relatives absolutely mad that I would not drown my chicken in Tabasco sauce. But as I grew older, I'm not like a super fan of spicy food, but I do like me some spicy kimchi. I'd like to throw some hot sauces on some meats. Get some buffalo sauce occasionally of one variety or another. But let's see here. Trying to think if there's anything else that...
I mean, you immediately made me think. I think I have a similar story in that I also... It's mostly just, in the context of chicken, which I've always loved. But I definitely, at some point in my life, like, I don't think I liked spicy, like, hot wings. Like, I just wanted regular fried chicken wings. And now I'm like, yeah, no, I'll take a spicy wing. Hell, you can go above mild, They don't even have to be mild. Let's go for more. Give me the sauce. I don't care.
Like, I don't need a numb mouth. I still don't understand that, but I appreciate.
Oh God, yeah, no. Like maybe for the lark, I'd try a novelty like hot sauce, but not normally. But like, I don't mind actually feeling the spice.
Yeah, but like I would say most of my life, I keep a pretty even keel about what I like and don't like. Like, I'm trying to think of things that I like. I don't like. I can eat mushrooms and tomatoes, but I don't like them still.
No, tomatoes only belong in sauce.
Yeah, so... And the only shrooms I like are the ones that make me see weird patterns and shapes.
I prefer my mushrooms in soup.
You're a fan of Korean mushroom, if I remember correctly.
Yes. It's very weird because I have tried to eat non-cream of mushrooms, but like it's less like nah, not even fried.
But
no, like I also think I've just I actually no, I think I will say this. Like I always liked I mean, it's not quite the same as hate, but like when I was younger, I was absolutely like such a chicken shit as to like make sure to slice and peel my apples right. Now I'm just like, fuck it, give me the apple. Nom, nom. I'll eat the apple. Sometimes I eat the apple too much. I bite too close to the stem.
that's why I like getting the slicers and the cores things.
Yeah, it can certainly be a little more convenient, but like that was just something where I had to be like, no, fuck it, I'm gonna eat the apple. Like I had to just be like, I had to take myself from the step of like, no, but I want the apple sliced and peeled, and just be like, no, eat the apple. The apple is good for you. You want the apple, eat it.
Food.
Don't be a baby about it. Like that's definitely some jumps I've done in there where like I liked fruit because it's like naturally sweet as a kid, but I was also absolutely lazy about it.
I think another food I could probably say that I probably hated as a kid, which is probably typical. I hated cabbage. Like I was not a cabbage kid. But as I got older, I was like, no, cabbage is great. I love cabbage. Let me put that on some shit. Steamed cabbage, the best. Shredded cabbage, great. Sauerkraut, I love it. You know. Ooh.
I'm trying to think. Because, like, obviously, they taught this question also asks about, like, you know, shows or TV or anything. I'm, like, trying to think. Was there anything that's really grown on me? I don't know. I don't know if there's anything I, like, hated as a kid that I, like now and, like, media-wise. I've definitely, like, found new things to like, but that's mostly because I just didn't know anything about them. Like, I think I've grown to like new, you know, genres in video games and stuff because I've tried new things that sound cool. But yeah, I don't know.
Like, I have I don't like to think in the terms of hate or like. There's just some things I'm interested in, some things I'm just not.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a fan of like Western media in general nowadays. You know, I still watch a thing here and there, but, like if a movie that interest comes out, but you know, watching TV has like no interest to me. I don't say I hate it. I'm just disinterested in. I look at like stuff, and there's like plenty of shows I still like. Like I still get a hearty chuckle out of nostalgia. You know, like a Fairly Odd Parents. I'm trying to think here. Well, just the old cartoons of me youth.
Yeah, and
but
I mean, there's definitely some overlap there. I mean, I think I can say this. Some people are gonna think this is kind of funny, but or might attack me. But I will say. I think there were some shows as a kid that I just like couldn't stand. Like when I was actually a kid, I was not a big fan of SpongeBob because I thought it was I don't know if stupid is the right word. I probably said stupid, but I don't know if that's what I meant as a kid. It just like it was weird and kind of like absurdist. And yes, SpongeBob and Patrick are kind of dumb, but like as an adult, like mostly through memes and stuff, I'm like. No, they produced like a bajillion seasons, so I'm sure not every episode was gold, but there seemed to be some real jokes in there and some stuff that carried over that I just couldn't appreciate at the time, Sometimes that does happen where you just realize like, oh yeah, I just wasn't in the right place in my life to get this. Whether it's like inside jokes or just like I wasn't ready to look at this in a broader picture.
Like there's definitely a few things I can think of that like I thought I liked as a kid that I don't like now. Like when I was a kid,
reverse is much better.
Yeah, like that's a lot easier because there's a lot of things that I look back and it's all like, why did I like that? Am I dumb? And then that little voice inside me goes, yeah, Lucky has much cringe, but it's just like some things as like I've grown in supposed maturity. I'll say, like I just look at and I'm just all like, I don't know why I ever actually found this entertaining, and then I was like, oh yeah, because I always toilet humor and whatnot. It was. Funny when you're a kid because fart jokes, and whatnot.
Yeah, it is a pretty universal comedy, but if that's all you got, some people have a more refined palate.
Mm-hmm. But like, definitely, like as I got older and I got involved in watching anime, and I discovered my love of Japan and whatnot. I was just like, no, I'm all about this life now, and I just kind of drifted off. Like I'm trying to think if there's like. Again, like, I can't think of things that I didn't like before that I like now. Like, it's, like, so much easier the opposite. Like,
yeah.
I used to go to, like, if we're talking about activities, I still like being outdoors and hiking and stuff. But when I was younger and I was in as my mom likes to call my hoe phase, I used to go to a lot of pirate events where a bunch of people dress up as pirates, go to a campsite, set up a bunch of tents, and do a lot of drinking and fucking. And, for a while I was all like, oh, this is the fucking best. But, 10 years later, I was looking back at that time and was all like, that was really dumb of me. I shouldn't have done that. Why the fuck did I think that was fun? So, I don't know. I guess maybe, me, as I get older, I try things and, I, drop them off. But, it's nothing that, I don't think necessarily I have much that, I didn't like before that I like now. That seems...
Yeah, I think there were some things that, especially as a kid, I didn't get, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, I'm much more appreciative of certain, TV shows that aired when I was younger. You guys might not think this about me, but I actually quite enjoy watching back the TV series The West Wing. I definitely didn't care about that when it was on air.
Yeah.
I have recently realized that Netflix has acquired another government procedural, Madam Secretary. God, I love NCIS. That I did. I love police procedurals. I have always loved. You want to solve a crime every week? I'm there. But government stuff. But as our real life continues to get crazier and crazier, hey, guess what? I enjoy the fantasy of having reasonable government that tries to help people. That's actually quite compelling to me. My God.
Horrible.
I know, it's so sad, but it's true. That's legitimately why I like the West Wing and Madam Secretary, is because, oh my God, these people, care about their jobs and the betterment of humanity. I mean, police procedurals are kind of a fantasy, too, but at the same time, there's also, a lot going on there. Because, also, if you think about it, they're a fantasy, but they're also, completely overblown. If you count the number of murders that happen on TV, God forbid if it's, a police procedure in a small town, it's, so statistically crazy out there, which is also unrealistic the other way. So I feel like it kind of evens out. I mean, yeah, I also I've appreciated that. God, I also like Bones. Solid show. Jump the shark a little bit.
I was a fan of Castle.
Yeah, I fucking love Castle, but that's because Nathan Fillion was in it.
It was very true, very true.
Killing it. Great series. Where the fuck is that? It's probably on Hulu. That's ABC, right? Disney owns that. It's got to be in the Hulu backlog. Maybe I should get the Hulu. Oh, hey, though, funny, talking about Netflix stuff. I don't know what Nathan Fillion has done lately. I haven't heard him yell about anything. Castle has been over for several years now, so he's moved on to other TV. I'll say this. I haven't watched the Sevens anime. Are you kidding me? I'm not caught up with fucking old Yu-Gi-Oh anime. You think I'm gonna be caught up with new Yu-Gi-Oh anime? I am definitely good at the old separate the art from the artist. So long as I'm not actively giving you money, but I've talked about this before. I had to learn this lesson the hard way because as a book, yeah, I read some of them. I think I read the first Nikki Heat book. It was okay, very very typical, but it's what you'd expect. But I was to talk about this as a sci-fi fan. There's a lot of old sci-fi writers who are not okay. And I'm a big fan of the book Ender's Game. I am not a big fan of Orson Scott Card, the person, the human being. So I have long been able to be sometimes people write stuff that you think is cool and impactful in your life that you don't like that person anymore. A large number of people are going through that with J.K. Rowling, but it unfortunately happens a lot, especially with old shit. Old people were weird. They had different values than you do. Funny, I know.
Also, I think it's also an effect of the increased pressure on social media where people can just yell into the void, and a lot of people go oh my God, I can't believe you said that. Yeah,
and I mean, I also think that the social media thing has gone too far the other way. I keep seeing this come up lately. I think we're getting I hope we're getting a pushback, because a lot of people for the past couple of years have been trying to quantify media morally good, media morally bad, and it's people are trying really hard to justify why they can like something or not like something. And guys, you don't gotta do that. We're here on a podcast about Fate. This started as an erotic visual novel. Nobody cares. The stuff's not the same as it was, 20 years ago.
I should say no one should care. I think the fact that some people do care is the problem.
Yeah, it's people feel not only do they have to enjoy a thing, but they have to present why enjoying their thing is morally and ethically correct. spoilers, ethical consumerism is a lie. Every single thing you like is problematic. The fact that you're breathing air, problematic. That you drink water, problematic. Especially as problematic has lost all meaning. But, like, just being a human means that a lot of weird, fucked up shit had to happen for you to exist. So, you know, it's just... Definitely, the fact that you're using the internet, problematic. Thank you, X. Correct.
On point.
Ugh. Yeah, hey, are you protesting global warming? Well, guess what? Are your lights on? You're probably burning fossil fuels. I know it sucks, but it'd be how it is.
That's how it is.
I really wish it wasn't, but nobody wanted to invest in nuclear. Anyway, yeah, we're getting a little into the weeds, but yeah.
Like, it's like, what was the original point? I lost it.
We were talking about things that we used to not like and now like. I feel like our tastes have mellowed out and got more exact, but it's a lot easier to go the other way. You know, when your tastes aren't defined, when you don't have a breadth of experience, and I'll say this, you know, it's funny. It reminds me of Shez and Dorothea's support conversations, where Shez is just like, "Hey, Dorothea, you're a great singer. I don't know shit about opera.
Yeah,
I do not want to say your singing is bad. I don't have the capacity to understand this, right? Like that's how you are with everything as a kid because you don't have any depth on it. So." It's much easier to go in the reverse, but hopefully this has been an informative discussion about our evolving tastes and our culture as a society's evolution. Let us continue
this is just
mailbags so we can eventually get to talking about Doggo.
Dog
Hat dog.
Dog hat. Mini dog. I love the Lobo CE, by the way. Thank you.
It's great. Much dog.
So we move on. So the next one comes from Casual LTFGO Viewer. That's fine. You do you, fam. Hello, Lucky and Mega. Question. Do you craft all your St. Court fragments once you get them? I have 2,640 fragments because I like building them up and using them as a St. Court reserve in case of poor rolls. Hope you have a good weekend.
Zam.
I mean, it's fair. Like, I always wanted to do that, but I don't because I roll way too fucking much. But I usually don't, like, what I like to do with my fragments is I save them up until I, like, have enough to get me a 10 spin, and then I will craft enough to get that 10 speed, and I'll leave the rest alone. So it's not necessarily saving them, but I don't exchange them immediately. It's more of I know how to explain this. I exchange them as I need them. There we go.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
So this may shock some people that I, Omega, the saving man, spend every single St. Quartz fragment immediately that I can. But I think I can explain this. I like to convert them from frags to quartz, so I just look at my total quartz number. Mm-hmm. And that's how I do math about, like, can I roll, when I'm going to roll, how many rolls do I have? So I understand the, like, keeping a strategic quartz reserve, but I definitely am like, no, I like to roll these up to quartz so I can be like, okay, I have this much St. Quartz now, and I can do my math from there. I think that's just, like, how I choose to approach the art of saving. I, like, focus all my stuff into the St. Quartz. Mm-hmm. So that I can look at that one number and be like, okay, this is what I'm working with. I have to say, I strongly suspect that if I, for any reason, I took a break from converting quartz fragments immediately, I would probably end up with a stockpile just because I'd forget.
Probably.
But no, I do proactively convert them to quartz just because, like I said, I think I prefer to look at my singular St. Quartz number and then just work from there. But, you know, everybody, you know, you do your own thing. Some people don't save any quartz at all and just, you know, rainbow apple and stuff, and then they'll just think about how much money they've got to spend.
Money! Souls fire. But let us move on. This next one comes from the Tyrant King, now in possession of said card from last week.
Hey, good for you, buddy.
I know. Frame that shit. I actually saw some, I didn't actually think about this, and I feel really, really fucking dumb. But at work, I saw some people that actually framed some collectible football cards for the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know if they're actually rare or anything, but they were framed. And what they did is they basically just attached the card protector to a plaque, and I was all like, "Oh, that's a bitchin' idea." So
it's pretty simple.
Yeah, it is pretty simple. So I was thinking about that. Like, I need to get back to collecting Dragon Maids at some point, but my fucking purchase list is still fucking huge. And my Tiamats.
Luckily, for the time being, Konami has not announced any more new Dragon Maids, so your backlog will not grow for now.
I'm very excited about that. Please, Konami, Dragon Maids are cool, but do not hurt my wallet.
For the reasons that I play Dragon Maids, I wouldn't mind one more, but also, yeah, you don't need to go crazy, guys. We're doing pretty good.
But they say, hey guys, happy 4th of July 4th weekend, excuse me. With 5th...
Take two.
Hey guys, happy July 4th weekend. With 5th anniversary soon, and with the 7th at the end of the month for JP, do you think we'll get a limited SSR ticket either this anniversary JP, or maybe sometime in the future? Also, follow up with the reboots happening. Which anime would you like to see have a reboot? Personally, I'd like to see Metabots or a new Rosaria vampire. I'm gonna assume that the plus is silent because I'm not sure X's exist in titles anymore.
Yeah, I actually don't. I read some Rosario vampire in my day. I don't actually know how it's pronounced. I just read the manga. It is silent?
Yeah.
Of course it's fucking silent. Goddamn it, Japan.
Anyways, that's it for me. Stay safe and have a great weekend. Anime for a reboot? That's a good question.
I mean, there's a few. I talked about this last week because somebody asked us about like stuff we read regularly. I know that there was an anime for History's Strongest Disciple, Kenichi, but it was like limited to 50 episodes. The manga wasn't even finished then, so it kind of like only adapts a couple of arcs. Now that the manga's all finished, I certainly wouldn't mind them to like reboot that and maybe do like greatest hits. The manga was fairly lengthy, so you don't have to cover every little detail, but there was a lot of good shit. Air Gear also was a similar treatment.
Fine with the Air Gear manga because it is just so fucking big and long. I'm trying to think of something like actually fucking like old, like from the 90s, like that I would want.
I mean, we got to be careful about that. That's how we got the Devilman Crybaby, which was phenomenal, but also destroyed us still to this day. We've never truly recovered.
Honestly, Slayers.
Good choice. Very retro.
Slayers was like, give me a new Slayers and give me a new Tenchi Muyo.
Slayers is also really impactful because, like, that was a lot of people's first anime, like, in the West.
Yeah, like,
with some very jank-ass dubs, but nobody knew what the fuck you were doing.
Well, like, that's the thing. Slayers, like, I think I've talked about this before, but Slayers was one of the first animes that I actually watched sub because back in the day when I first moved to Washington State, the international channel was on Channel 14. And on the weekend, late at nights, they would have subbed anime. So that's where I watched, like, a lot of old things. That's why I watched Slayers. That's why I watched Those Who Else. That's why I watched Record of Lodos Wars. That's where I watched Earthian. And a few others. And that's what, got me, like, started on my thing about anime. Because, before that, I was watching stuff on Saturday morning cartoons and whatnot, not necessarily knowing what the fuck was happening. But then, I go to International Channel and it's just like, what the fuck? Those men are in love? That's a cartoon? The fuck? Yes, by the way, Earthian has gay angels and it's amazing.
Making waves, doing thing.
So, like, but Slayers is just like, that and like Record of Lodoss Door was like the quintessential fantasy anime for me back then when I was young and impressionable. Lena Enverse, just yelling, yelling about the Ragna Blade, screaming the Giga Slave, or just Fireball. Lowry with his fucking Blade of Light being the biggest doofus. Those are things that just stuck with me like forever. Oh man. And like once in a while I think they try to do something with Slayers, but nothing has been like just a full solid reboot.
Yeah, and I mean, like, as video games have shown, you can take a piece of media that was done already and, like, I mean, technically movies do this too, but usually live-action movie remakes are shitty.
Yeah.
Because they just don't capture the same magic. But, like, anime-wise, hey, anime from, like, the pre-HD era really do be different. Like, being in 4:3, being, like, hand-drawn in that way, and then that digitized that way. Oh,
shit, no! I know what I fucking want a remake of.
Oh, he's got something.
Rama 1/2.
Yeah. Read a lot of that as a kid. That's another one. I don't even know how far that got compared to the...
Yeah, I don't know, but that was another one of the animes that I watched. Because, like, again, it's another big one because I know I've told this story before, but I found the second volume of Rama 1/2 at a garage sale, and I bought it because it had titties in it, because... and then I found out, like, more about it, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. It's like, it got so many classic tropes in it.
Oh, are they remaking Oni Girl?
The what?
Somebody said they were remaking, was it, Ure Yatsure?
Yeah, I have heard about that. I don't know if it's the full series or if they're doing some movies, but something's definitely happened.
That's also classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's pretty interesting. I mean, hell, they, because, that's fun facto. Hold on. Because just double checking his brain, because it's been like 5 million years since I thought about this, but yeah, no, I was just double checking. But yeah, I mean, it's funny, but with, like, Ranma 1/2 or whatever, we could do some more stuff, because, like, that we gave Inuyasha its fair shake, right? Like, they ended that anime, and then they did this, they did, like, the rest of the season's anime sequel. Still haven't checked out. Should go to it. How much? Did they do, like, one core?
No, I think there are multiple cores. I think it's still, I don't know if it's still going, but...
I gotta catch up. I'm bad about anime right now. I'll get there some way. Alright, I will have to catch up then. I'm still a little sad that, like, Netflix is getting new episodes of other anime seasons, but they've still only got, like, the first 2 of the OG Inuyasha, and I'm just like, aw, sad.
This thing is a pain, I do believe.
Yeah.
I feel like some people are just holding on to their rights and just being assholes about it.
Though, hey, fun fact, speaking of Netflix releases, I was thinking of this earlier, it's been announced that, already, the Uncharted movie is coming to Netflix this month.
Really?
Yep. It'll be released on
that. Netflix
on the 15th of July. I will definitely be checking it out.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think Sony and Netflix have a pretty tight relationship.
Well, I mean, I guess it's true. Once you've done your box office run, there's no real reason to hold on to it.
No, DVD and you don't need to... I think the thing that, like, delayed home release before was you needed to wait for, like, the master print for, like, VHS and DVD for mass production. Now you just don't need to do that. Like, obviously, you will do a Blu-ray run usually of something because of the high def, but you can just... It's literally all digital. You just take the hard drive and you hand it to Netflix, and you're like, okay, put this on your server.
Yeah, no, because post-sales will be mostly in Blu-ray and DVD sales, but I do believe those have been on the wane as we've been switching to more and more streaming services.
Yeah, I feel like Blu-ray runs are becoming more like
novelty, I guess. Yeah.
Like, we cram the extra shit. Now, that does mean that some minimal Blu-rays are pretty cheap. I've talked about this before. I was able to actually pick up the Ghost in the Shell standalone complex Blu-rays for, like, relatively cheap, considering the 2 Blu-ray sets are both of those entire seasons. I think I got both for under $20, which is like crazy if you think about anime Blu-rays.
Like, I buy my Blu-rays, but, like, I don't buy them to watch them. I buy them so I can have a physical copy and be like, yes, and I can have a physical representation of what I own. I don't get the same feeling when I don't get that same feeling out of a digital representation.
No, yeah. The series I have bought on, like, DVD or Blu-ray are stuff that I greatly appreciate and like, and not necessarily to watch, because I think most of the shit I own is digitally streaming on platforms I'm sub to anyway. But it's definitely like, no, I like this and I want this, and I mean, occasionally. I live in my atmospheric hell state. I have occasionally been in situations where, power's been knocked out, internet's been knocked out, so having the good old physical media to bust out's okay. Trust me, you guys haven't had a, like, media experience other than, like, it's like midnight, you're not gonna go to sleep for a couple of hours, but the fucking power has been knocked out, so you're sitting in the dark reading pulp novels by flashlight because you're not fucking tired yet, and you can't do anything. I
do still want to do a Heaven's Film movie night, but unfortunately I do not have a Blu-ray player, and they're not the cheapest.
No, that's another thing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Sony's current copy protection scheme, literally you can't do anything that plays video and run your capture card on a PS5 or 4.
Yeah.
Because I think we've discussed this before. Sony, got their start in movies specifically, but in media, so they don't really fuck around with making piracy easy for you, There's ways to circumvent it. I'm sure it's just one of those things where it's like, you can't really expect them to make it, like, that simple for you, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of... God knows how much money Netflix paid Sony to get, like, rights to stream Uncharted, the movie, right? Some money got exchanged. Anyway, where was we with that? Right, we're talking about anime reboots.
Yeah. Also, Metabot's to be good, too. I remember that shit.
I watched a little bit of that. I had some friends really into it, but I don't think I ever caught the channels that it was on well. I never watched the Rosario Vampire anime. I read a decent chunk of the manga. I never finished it, though. The series was alright. I think that was one of my first things that really was in the monster girl genre that I ever consumed. But also it had, like, sick monster fights. It wasn't just all lovey-dovey ooh-woo.
Actually, did they ever do a proper adaptation of Negima?
No! They did the Negima with, like, I think an exclamation point and a question mark, but we never... That was always truncated and did kind of its own thing. I actually, by the way, throwback, I actually rented a couple of those episodes off the PS Store back in the PS3 days. That's the thing you did.
I used to own most of the manga, and I remember they had the weird one that was done by Shaft, which, you know, Shaft is great, but it was fucking weird. They had this weird obsession with chupacabras. I don't understand it.
Okay, so they did a couple OVAs, but, like, that's another series that you could probably, again, highlights, because the manga went on quite a long time. You could probably highlight that out, but you could plan a couple cores in advance with a good studio, and you could probably, like, do a definitive anime adaptation, and people would appreciate it. Oh, yes, there was a front half of this question about an SSR ticket.
Oh.
Limited SSR ticket? I don't know. I suspect they will probably eventually do something like that. When was the last time JP had an SSR ticket? Because if it was this year, I don't think you're going to get it an anniversary. It would be, like, at New Year's this year.
Probably.
Yeah. You guys can fact check me on that. Love Hina. Wasn't that... Didn't I get a full adaptation in anime?
I don't know.
I mean, I think I don't remember it at all. I'm pretty sure I read the whole manga back in the day. Because I wanted to see Ken Akamatsu's other work. Love Hina is like a very classic, like, OG harem show. Like, that's got a lot of the tropes I think people even to this day take for granted.
What the fuck is... I'm on Twitter right now. I'm just scrolling down, and I just scrolled by Ken Nakamaka's Twitter page, and I don't know what the fuck this link is, but I gotta... Damn it. Why? Just play that animation. I'm like, why? Actually, what is this about? Translate tweet.
Well, it says media could not be played in the preview. I'm gonna open a new tab, y'all.
It's just running characters, but they're just running. I'm just like, please.
This is a very, like, famous run cycle from something, I'm pretty sure. Why does it go on for 61 seconds?
I don't know. It's so weird. Is he running for office?
Yeah,
oh my god, he is.
A special election page. Yeah, damn.
Holy shit.
Zam, dude. Well, I wish him luck.
Interesting.
Japanese politics is not something I understand at all.
It's not, but it's not that. Oh, that's his.
That's got to be pretty baller when you're a presumably well-respected manga artist who's running for office. You get to draw all your own campaign ads.
I mean, that's what I was trying to figure out. Like, I noticed he changed his profile pic, and it's a what I would call the politician pic, but he still has his avatar over the shoulder. I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
It took me a second. Okay, neat.
We learn things here at Let's Talk FGO.
Yeah, cool. Ken Nakamatsu running for office. Sick. I'd vote for him. But
his first policy in office. Battle manga for everyone. Alrighty, let's keep going. We've only got a few more.
Let us keep going. So, this next one comes from Procrastinator, who is going on a trip soon. They say, why, Lisango, why did you not fit the OQ rerun before 5th anniversary? Why? I'd also like y'all's opinion. I know this might be not grammatically. I don't know what I was trying to say there before.
That's okay. Once again, I don't want to throw any stones. People should realize if you listen to one, and I think I left a couple bad takes in, but I wrote my own goddamn script for that. I still can't fucking read it. God forbid reading other people's writing.
Feel free to skip if you don't feel like it. Good vibes. Wah 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 wah. To all, regardless.
Can I just say, good vibes to everybody who writes 2 fucking sentences and says, you could skip this if you want. Like, shout out to you.
Here's
You're real conscientious. You're the real OG.
But unfortunately, I have to say, I have no strong feelings one way or another. Things arrive when they arrive. I am not a person who... I'm assuming you're going on a trip, and that's going to make you miss the OQ rerun. And that is why you're upset. Lucky, while I do have I won't say I have a robust social life. Trips are not my thing. I like being able to sleep in my bed at night. I think the exception with this is if I was to travel, like, do like an actual vacation or a camping trip. Yeah, which I do not have planned because I need to save money.
I can sleep on anything. Like, I have crashed on couches and floors and whatever in my time, slept in cars, but, like, I have done a lot of family traveling in my time. That's what happens when your family moves around for a lot for business and you've got a lot of relatives scattered because, you know, both your parents were divorced before they got married and had you, so your siblings are all over the place. Yeah, I don't like to travel either. I do those sometimes, and it fuckles with the stuff, but you gotta be used to it,
Fuckles my cuckles.
Like, for a logic for why a single didn't keep the OQ rerun before 5th Annie, I think it was just a matter of timing. Like, obviously they possibly had the time for it, but that would have made some of these things very compact and overlap. Like, I don't really think we had any dead weeks this past month, right? Because
no, like honestly, the only probably reason is because our anniversary is literally like a month ahead of JP's, almost exactly now.
Yeah,
and they wanted to keep it on time.
Yeah, they want to keep it on time, and it is important to remember the thing we're doing right now, where there's like the CE distribution and the memorial quests and stuff. That is also how JP did it, because they were in the height of the Backstreet Boys reunion tour. They also, like, started the anniversary celebrations, like, a week early, and then rolled up to the actual anniversary event they did. They did a big stream and stuff. So, in order to make all that still work in the rough schedule that we got in, JP, give you the extra time on the CE banner, give you the tickets, whatever you want to do, they had to start it when they started it, and I think that just, makes more sense for them to just be like, nah, we'll do OQ later. It doesn't actually affect anything because there's no new SSRs they have to include in, like, lucky bags or whatever. So there's no, like, freaking out of the schedule. Obviously, for some people, it may or may not affect their court spending habits because, that means Castoria happens before the comma rerun. But still, we'll see how it shakes out. You knew at least those two banners would be close together, thanks to clairvoyance. So we'll see how things shake out. It's like I said, I think it's just a simple matter of scheduling, and we've been doing the show almost 5 years. I think for at least 4 of those years, we've talked about the fact that our anniversary is a month earlier, as we have pointed out, and that does mean that occasionally our schedule for the first half of each year gets weird, and will always stay weird because there's nothing they can really do about it, unless you want them to delay our anniversary celebrations by a fucking month, which I don't think people do. Sorry, I tried to quietly yawn there. That is true. Hey, that's fun. Somebody in our Patreon chat just pointed out. This means with the rerun, you can try full bar comma with Castoria, which is allegedly one of the harder fights in the game. Like, really up there. So, that actually, maybe something funny will come out of that, Definitely. Different strokes for different folks.
But, so we only got a couple more, I believe.
Yeah. And we do have a little bit of a back half. We have a new servant and some other, usual monthly business to take care of. And we have managed to make this show at least 2 hours long. Raw recording, so we got a few things.
All right, but let us move on. This next one comes from Eternal Hassan of the Confused Mind, who says, "Hey, Lucky Omega, which GSSR are you two rolling? For whom are you hoping to roll? Best wishes and good vibes. Wah, 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 wah." From the former Hassan of the long-ass paragraph. Why? Sorry, I'm having a moment here. Anyway, I'm rolling on the banner that has comma, and I'm hoping to get a comma. It is very simple.
Yeah, I made a bingo card, but obviously I do not save it. I just, when the heckens?
Oops.
Let me check, because there's some very specific stuff. Here we go, Lucky Bag Summoning Campaign. Show me the graphic. I think it was... Yeah, I'm debating. I think it's the 17 to 18 one, because that's got Okitan, Sherlock, Semiramis, Summer Nero, Scotty, Ivan, Maid Alter, Aresh, and Sigurd. And I also Abigail and Hogusai. And basically everybody between the first two and the last two, I don't have. So any of those guys. I also don't own a large number in the 16 to 17 one, but that does include Summer Tamamo. And like I said, if I pay $15 to get NP4 Summer Tamamo, I am going to be something. So we're just not going to do that. I don't care if I get NP3 Aresh or NP2 Foreign or Sigurd. I like those units and use them regularly. Probably most I'm aiming for would be a Sherlock, because I'm hoping to score big on the arts meta, and even then I do have a Tamamo, so I can use other people's Castorias as well. I will be able to do the funny double Castoria plug suit into Tamamo, but we can do some memes. But there's an AoE assassin on there. There's a Scotty. There's a Maid Alter. Honestly, both of those summers are good for me because I was abysmal at that one. So yeah, that's the one I'm aiming for. Lucky, by the way, will be rolling year 18 to 19, which includes Benny Enma, Summer John, Renez, Murasaki, Kama, Arjuna Alter, Shinshi Wong, Maonobu, BB Summer, and KP.
Like I said, it's a pretty good... There's only a few of those there that I don't have.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have Arjuna Alter, but a lot of those I would definitely appreciate more MP levels for, so I'm not... There's a good chance I'll get something that I will be okay with.
Yeah, I think I debated rolling on that one myself, but unfortunately that's only, like, I think 4 of them I don't have, because I did pretty good in that year, mostly. Like, obviously, I whiffed Benny Enma. I did do a decent try for her. I didn't try at all for Arjuna Alter. And I didn't get any Renez, but like I've gotten most of those others, so I'm just like, it's probably not worth it. Same with like this year, like I've had really good luck with the previous year's banners. Like I think the only big ones I missed was like Summer Artoria, Yang, stuff like that. The funny thing will be seeing if either of us honestly get any of the actual like 4 stars or 3 stars, because you can also, they're not guaranteed, but you can also only roll those in that year anyway.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so hey, I might get some more NPs for my my Salieri, and Lucky could possibly roll some extra doctors. That's
that might be useful. Yeah, I do not believe I have. I believe I do not have an MP5 Asclepius.
I'm trying to remember what banner Oh, right, White Day. That's why I have MP5 Asclepius. Right. I'm like, what banner did I roll that Asclepius was included in that I got a shitload of? I'm pretty sure it was White Day. It was for Odysseus. In case you forgot, I spent a lot of sequence on that one, guys. Unfortunately, he's not on the GSSR because it's only limited, but damn. Zam. Anyway, yeah, that's our scientific thoughts on that. Math.
Very scientific.
Lucky's like, head empty, no thoughts, only comma.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I am a man who knows what he wants. But we move on. This next one comes from Killian King, who says, first off, this is a very late statement due to a combination of forgetfulness and not noticing mailbag notification. So first, have 2 to 3 weeks worth of good vibes, Moriarty style Subarashi. For my actual statement, as I was watching one of your Let's Talks, specifically we were talking about ruler Moriarty mechanics, something clicked to me on how younger Moriarty is more evil than his older self. While Ultra Moriarty is fine coercing, his comrades into evil, ruler Moriarty prefers to frame and dox his enemies and then proceeds to leave them to the mercy of the various anti-evil servants and watch them be beaten and swatted from a safe distance, likely with a video camera. Then with his first scale, he shall further slander the reputation after the fact with double arch resist down, utilize viral media with his sure hit, and remain anonymous with his evade.
You spent a lot of time writing that one, huh?
I have no words for this because I do not know ruler Moriarty, nor his event, so I do not know actually how he operates, so cool, I suppose.
Kids, swatting is not cool. Don't dox and swat your enemies. Only villains do that. Moving on.
And also, older Moriarty is probably just done with fucking life. He's like, I'm old. Fuck you. I do what I want.
Let's see. I could run, or I could just drop a fucking meteor on you. What's better for my back? Dynamics of an asteroid, bitch. Subarashi.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking of Moriarty putting on sunglasses and just saying, bitch.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's or think of it like that one Eric Andre meme where it's like, hey, look at me, and it's like Sherlock, and he's like, hey, look at me, bitch. Just fucking throws on the sunglasses, get the fuck out of there. Well, servants can have back problems because they're limited by their perception of their real life. It's why Okita still has tuberculosis, because it's part of the thing that is recorded about them.
If it wasn't for Kama, I'd probably be trying to get Moriarty this year. I'm still so sad I don't have one.
There will be other opportunities.
I know.
Hell, I think there'll be other better GSSRs, technically. Look at this smug old man.
He's the best. Anyway, let's move on to our last one. God damn, I can't get the idea of Moriarty just being... Actually, wait, do I still have that fucking Moriarty again? If I don't, I'm gonna be upset.
Well, I think you're wrong if you think he's more able-bodied than Sherlock. Like, he is a math professor, whereas Sherlock Holmes is, a skilled martial artist.
Oh, Architect found it. I'm gonna add
Yes,
it back to my favorite.
GIF.
I'm gonna add it back to my fucking favorites.
No, they tied. They both went off the falls.
Yeah, I was about to say, that was the waterfall fight, right?
Yeah, it's the Reichenbach Falls.
I don't
Now,
read
it's been a
Sherlock
while since
name,
I
right?
read that story, so I probably should go back and read actually like how it says. But like that is technically a draw that turns into a Sherlock win because Sherlock lives through that. Though, admittedly, that was a retcon because Conan Doyle was originally planning for that to be the end, but then he needed money.
The need of money changes many plans.
Yeah, what's that famous quote from, I think, Michael Caine on, I think it was Jaws 3: The Revenge. He's like, I did that movie for the, I love that movie for the deck it bought me. Like, a lot of people will do some shitty schlocky movies and books and stuff just because they're like, damn, I need some cash. It's like the pre-parasocial internet, creator economy version of like a subathon, where you're just like, shit, I need a new car, or I need to refurbish my house. What do I do? I'll make a crappy movie. No, I still haven't seen the new Matrix, probably because fucking Warner Brothers, fucking HBO Max. Anyway, we I think like 5 minutes ago we wanted to read the last one. Let's go.
Let's go. So this last one comes from Agent 418, who says, "Hello, Lucky and Mega. I wish everyone luck with their roles. P.S. Have a great 4th and weekend, everyone."
And we should clarify that this mailbag is spiced up with emotes.
I do love them. Emotes. That's probably what I should probably do. I should probably actually sit down and actually work on the damn emotes. Actually, no, what I need to do is I need to save and actually buy me a new tablet. Because that's really the thing that's fucking stopping me. Even if it's not completely stopping me, I can still use it. It bugs me when I use it. Which irritates me and makes me not want to use it, which stops me.
Fair enough.
That's what I need to do. I need to get me a new tablet.
And if you do some research, let the people know what your budget is on that. That might actually incentivize people to give some of the cash juice.
That's a good idea. I should probably set up some sort of goal and figure out what kind of tablet I want and work towards that. I'll probably do some research on that. Because once I get a new tablet, I'll be more inclined to art because I won't have fucking pen pressure problems because this thing's a piece of shit. Yeah, I'm talking to you, you fucking... What is this thing? How old is this thing? What is this? Intuos 4. Actually, how old is this? How old is this fucking tablet? Hang on one second.
Lucky's looking that up. Architect dug up the proper quote, which I love. On Jaws the Revenge, Caine said, I thought about doing my Michael Caine impression for a second, but I won't. Mosh Wayne. I have never seen the film, but by all accounts, it was terrible. I have, however, seen the house that it built, and it is terrific. Hey, it do be like that sometimes. Turn that mindset into a grind set, brother. Also, yes, Jaws the Revenge is, like, hilariously bad. Oh, my God. I believe that's the one where the shark roars underwater. I don't remember if that's the one where the shark is fucking voodoo or not.
This thing came out 11 years ago.
Okay, you need a new tablet. I say that as a guy who usually runs his computers in at, like, 5 years apart. You need a new tablet.
I need a new tablet. No wonder this thing has fallen to fucking pieces. I've had to buy replacement pens and scratch it to shit. No, I'm done. I should actually throw it in the trash. That would probably incentivize me.
Be gone, then perish. Actually, you are describing the home action of spending illicit cash. Yes, where you just dump it and get bond points, and you're like, I don't care where this black money came from, but it bought my daughter a PS5, so who cares?
I was about to say, it's like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to tell everyone if they want to do a counseling session, I'm just gonna give them a fucking number and we're gonna do a fucking Zoom call or something.
I mean, we have mechanically established that, like, I've done the numbers. I think there's a reason for it and it makes more sense, but mechanically, I believe that you get back just as much sand if you talk to a therapist and lie about it as you do if you just, like, return to nature.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there are certain provisions, like, for instance, if you, like, crit on a psychologist roll, even if you lie, you might remove a disorder or something, but it's still, like, net sand loss recovery is minimal. So if you really want to get your sand back, you gotta go to your professor and not lie, but normally you lose sand for that, but I'm fairly certain with Kara, I'm not gonna have her make a sand roll for other people's sand events because she was there for most of it. You've already lost your sand.
Yeah, no. What Kara's gonna do is, everyone's gonna call her. He's like, okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go take a nature retreat, and everyone's just gonna go, like, spend a week on a fucking boat and not talk to anybody. And just yell at the fucking waves, fuck that mall! And everyone's gonna feel a lot better about it.
You just gotta be careful. If you yell fuck at the waves in certain parts of the world, the waves might yell fuck back.
Well, then that's when, I have to call Agent Green again. Agent Green, I was on vacation, and I started yelling at the waves.
And just a big scaly middle finger came out. What's that about? Hold on, I need to call the Navy. We need to drop some depth charges on that location. What island did you say you were at? It's a terrible shame we don't do nuclear bomb tests above ground anymore. Actually, I don't think Delta Green's ever done that, but that would be pretty good. That'd be a pretty good excuse for all the Pacific nuclear bomb testing. We were blowing up deep woods, actually. Anyway, that is mailbag for this week.
Yeah.
As always, we appreciate your mail.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have, like I said, a couple of items for the free talk section on your bingo card.
Yeah.
First of all, let's talk new servant. We have new servant Doggo Deets. So, Kyokutei Bakin has low attack, but is tied with Maid Alter for the highest HP among riders. So, coming out swinging. QQAAB. NP gain is a little bit low, but the hit counts are average and a higher extra. I assume it's because there's some other NP gain shenanigans out there. But yeah, pretty typical stuff. The NP is arts. It is not 8 hits. Shake my head. It's only 4 hits.
An opportunity was missed.
Listen, I know that they did the 8 because it gives you 8 stars, but still, you can have more 8s. You can have an endless number of 8s. Just saying. Anyway, it also increases own damage versus demonic by 30% for 1 turn, and then does extra damage to evil enemies with overcharge. This isn't quite the same as Taikobo, because he's demonic and divine, so this is demonic and evil, but similar niches. We're doing some trade overlap stuff, get you some spicy damage. Also, like I said, it generates flat 8 stars every time, which for an arts NP isn't awful. So our first skill is a 20 to 30% self battery and a 10% battery for team, but not for self. Also gives you an infusion of 5 to 15 stars. So, we're an NP-focused build. We want to probably fire our NP a couple of times if the first one doesn't do it. We give you some charge, give you some team charge, give you some stars. And then we get skill 2. This one's pretty weird. So this one has 8 buffs on it.
8?
Yes. 1 for each virtue.
Okay.
It is targetable. So, you get 10 to 20% on Buster, Arts, Quick, Critical, and NP damage for 3 turns. That's the first 5. You get a targetable 500 to 1,000 heal, so pretty minimal. And then 1/3, 1 hit for 3 turns of evade and debuff immunity.
Okay.
So, not crazy, the numbers are relatively small, but a very comprehensive buff package. 20% to everything for 3 turns, and a combination of a small heal, a hard defense, and a debuff immunity. Pretty solid. Final skill is 20 to 30% arts up on self for 3 turns, and then gives Bakin a on-hit buff to give the party 5% attack for 3 turns when hitting with an arts card. So, encouraging you to hit with arts cards, juice up the team. Passes are pretty normal. You've got MRB, Writing B, and Divinity C. No sure on the origin of that one, by the way. I've only done so much Google translating of the profile here. Not a crazy standout, but, we've got a trait damage focus. We have fairly decent generic, team-wide buffs, and that second skill targetable buff is interesting. You've got some opportunity there. It's truly a universal buff.
If I have to say the reason for the divine is probably because that the dogs have an origin from a dog kami, from a literal dog god.
Yeah,
probably.
Makes sense. But yeah, there's some potential here. Like I said, the kit seems similar to Taigon Wong Taikobo, who just came out 6 months ago, but still different enough that you might want to consider rolling. Obviously, this is a quick arts hybrid with an arts NP that's very popular right now. And as previously stated about Castoria, hey, if you have a fully leveled Castoria and you just rub her on an arts unit, that arts unit will loop, basically. So the Bakin fits into the I'm trying. Sorry, guys. I'm trying really hard not to say barking when I say that. I know that's obviously not intended because that's not how the onomatopoeia works in Japan. But still, I'm just I gotta be careful. But I believe Bakin is the consistent name because had a couple of different given names possible. Speaking of which, I have fed the profile to Google Translate. It seems like the physical appearance of Bakin is based on one of his daughters-in-law, who assisted him with writing the last couple volumes of the Satomi Hakkenden when he went blind. So the appearance is actually one of Bakin's daughters. By the way, the profile says that the ears and tail are fake. They are accessories. And I feel like, especially considering Hokusai is a bonus servant in this event, I feel like this is a deliberate homage to what they did with the servant Hokusai, where, actual old man Hokusai is a weird octopus, and then Oe takes most of the Saint Graph. But also, fun fact, Hokusai and Kyokutei Bakin, buddies, pals. Assuming the translation of the profile is accurate and literal, used to be roomies. Spent some time crashing houses. Also, fun fact, both of them were apparently pretty tall for Japan. They were both supposed to be over 180 centimeters.
Oh.
So these were just tall art bros. So,
Sick.
yeah. I as far as I can tell, I feel like they're going for a very deliberate homage to some of the things they have done with Hokusai. Kyokutei Bakin's append skill is anti-foreigner, funnily enough. Get ready to bully Oe. So, yeah, I'm very interested to read how this story plays out later in some servant interactions, because I bet there's some fun ones. They do have 2 voice actors credited, so I assume there is some, alternate voice lines. Kind of similar to how, even though it's the same actor, Sima-Yi Renez has, 2 tones of voice. And I'm sure we'll get more information once dialogue and bonds and stuff are all fully translated. I just fed what we had into Google Translate and was able to grasp a decent run of it. Mm-hmm. But yes, this is the name, anyway, of the original writer of the Sodome Hakkenden and a lot of other things. Lots of other poetry and literature. And we're getting our Edo period classics out there. All in all, seems like a fun time. Again, because of the way our anniversary works, I do not know if I will be ready to go in on this banner, but especially because we know for sure Trom came out, and y'all know I'm rolling on that one.
Yeah.
That's canon. Roland Kremhild Charlemagne? Yeah, I'm there. My wallet is open. It is extended. Please, sir, can I have some Saint Graphs? But still, this seems like a fun event. Literal doggo collection mechanic. Adorable little sprites they showed off in the stream preview, so it's gonna be a fun time.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, people are wondering and believing there may be a second banner copium.
I believe it's possible.
Yeah, certainly, because it's pretty long. The only other real big business thing, obviously, in general, new month, Patreon has actually processed payments fairly rapidly, so we're ready to go on that. So I usually do a little bit of the shillatry in the start. But I will announce Fanservant Friday poll is already up. It is fired off. As you know, we are going into the July 4th weekend. As I did last year, this month's theme of July shall be Murica. So our announced possible Fanservant selections are Annie Oakley Archer, Benjamin Franklin Caster, Pecos Bale Ryder, and Sam Colt Archer. There's only a few votes, but Benji Franks is out to an early lead. But obviously, there are quite a few days left. I've set the cutoff time for the 15th, so you got a couple of weeks to pick them. So that is obviously open-ended. We do also, unrelated to FGO, but just, for fair announcements, we also do a Patreon poll for Fail Betrayal, my regular Yu-Gi-Oh! Stream thing. I don't really know what you'd call Fail Betrayal. It's kind of like a weird podcast thing at this point. We stream and basically shitpost about Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards and art. And occasionally we do specials. Like the Magic episode we did earlier this year, and a Warhammer 40k special I am very much working on. It is a piece of art. You will love to see it. FG is Lucky's beating people up in Three Hopes, I think.
Probably.
No, I just hear bonk, bonk, clank, death, blender. Yeah, I've got a PowerPoint designed. If you want to see a preview of what I'm working with, go watch last week's episode of Fail Betrayal. But we do usually do a patron poll once a month for, a fan selection. I will get that poll up as soon as I have heard from all of the brain trust about options. I need a couple people to check in, so we've got a pretty decent skeleton. I'll hopefully get that to you before the weekend, but it's a little open-ended. The Goop Trust. Incorrect, but also true. Yeah, Axe is like, vote Magical Musketeers, you cowards. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know if the Goop Trust is very accurate, or it's very accurate. One or the other. But on the subject of the 40K Fail Betrayal special, if you are interested in seeing that anytime soon, I've got... Don't you like the word goop? It's a great word. It's got a double O and a P. It's got the G, so you can say goop or jupe, because you can make it a hard or soft G. Actual physical goop is cool. It's great. The ooze, the flubber. Loved Flubber as a kid. Great film. Is goop a better word than moist? What's that line that Danny said in Game Grumps? What was it? Hot, wet, sweet, tight. Other hard T sounds. That one you can clip out of context internet. I don't care. But yeah, so there'll be another Fail Betrayal poll. If you want to see the Fail Betrayal special, I'm tying it to another milestone. It's an either or. Basically, if we hit either 75 patrons, I don't care about the money value of the patrons. I'm just trying to, put a little more eyes on the Patreon. And we'll come up with other fun stuff to do with y'all. But 75 patrons or 3,200 subs, which may happen sooner because we are still clicking along with subs after 31. But at either level, we will bust out the special. So consider, supporting us on Patreon, or if you're new, subbing to the channel to get some extra stuff. You'll get more things and more stuff, like our regular podcast, What's Up? We do that every weekend that we can anyway. It is live streamed after Let's Take FGO, drops to public. If you want, basically, you know how we faff around in mailbag these days, guys? What's Up is basically like 3 to 4 hours of just that. Just that. We just talk about whatever. And Lucky plays video games. Sometimes Lucky just gets me to talk about things so he can play more video games.
That I do. I make Alexa talk. Who am I to stop him?
And I am easily baited into talking. It's going to be interesting because, well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to say about Three Hopes. I also don't know if I have a lot to talk about other stuff, though I do have a couple of news things. We got some things. I took a couple notes. But yeah, make sure to tune into that. It's a great way to get more of us. Like we said, we are planning on Sunday from that, I think it's 3 to 4:20. Whatever the time frame of the panel is, we're planning on doing some kind of reaction stream with that, 6 Eastern. We'll be sure to see you then, and then we're immediately going to go play Delta Green, probably. We'll have fun. Yeah, you got a lot of shows. Remember how somebody said, enjoy your weekend off? We're not taking a weekend off. We're doing 4 straight days of recording. Because Monday we also stream. Currently, we are in the middle of Great Ace Attorney. I am taking the lead on that, though obviously it is a cooperative effort as we read lines and solve mysteries. We have just started to load a preview of Case 4, so enjoy that one. It's another great time to support us, throw us your views, keep an eye out for everything. Yeah, I think that's everything we're doing really good. Other than, obviously, I will mention again, sometime Sunday as well, once it will be released to public, probably at about midnight-ish when maintenance starts, but I'll get it to you when I got it to you. It's already uploaded and queued up, ready to go, ready to rock and roll, so we hope you will enjoy that and look forward to that. You can enjoy me pronounce Tentacle. Tentacle Village, Tentacle Castle, Tentacle Island. Funnily enough, I believe the postmodern name before they switched back to Tentacle for tourism purposes was Trevenna, was the name of the village for a while. But the post office renamed themselves to Tentacle because they want to get them sweet, sweet tourism dollars. Again, you'll see it more. I can tell you that I'm pretty sure my audio gag passed. I haven't heard a peep out of YouTube from using the Monty Python of the Holy Grail overture. Cool. So get ready for that one. I love my audio gags in Wanted, but unfortunately, thanks to the record industry, I do not usually get to do them. But yeah, I think that's catching up with all the stuff we got going on lately. All the content you can catch us on, all the fun vids. So yeah, I think that probably means time to wrap up and do outro. Any final business commentary?
Not from me in particular. Lucky will be maybe firing on a few more cylinders than you and maybe try to bring you something better than what he's brought before. But he has no ideas yet. If you have any ideas of what you might like you to do or product you might want to see from him, let him know. And he will do his best. Yes, I am speaking in third person. I switch constantly.
First, second, third person, who cares? All is person. Sorry, when you said that, my first thought was, can we turn the cat, that Cat Jams gif into a Tirabit? Rabbit Jams?
Jam.
Sadly, I do not believe YouTube lets us do animated emotes yet. Would love that one.
I don't know how well it looked. The Cat Jam one's funny because you're just all up in that cat's face.
Yeah, you're real up close. But anyway, hey, let us know in the comments, like you said, if you got any ideas for stuff. That means I will do the outro. Sorry. We've been doing this for a couple of hours, and I have been working a lot. I have deep, dark circles under my eyes. I hope you appreciate all the stuff I bring you. Scripted Wanted, writing this 40K thing like a madman, like a mad genius locked in a room with a type matrix. I should actually look up what the fuck the stupid 40K name for a typewriter is, because I will bet you sex to donuts they've got one. There's I don't remember it off the top of my head, but in the Only War RPG, there's a hilarious name for for just like a pen. It's really overwrought. Here, I'll go look it up really quick because I am thinking of it. Oh, I can't find it. I'd have to look it up in the list. It's ludicrous. But anyway, I'll let you guys go. I'll remember for what's up, maybe. Oh, right, because everything is a rune in 40K. The rune board. As I clock away on my rune board, I'll let y'all go.
See you next time, everyone.
So, if you like this video, be sure to give it a like. If you have any comments, leave in the comment section down below. We love comments. You can also hit up our Discord. Link is in the video description and our channel page, as always. If you are new here and haven't already, please subscribe to the channel for obvious reasons. You can also ring that bell for notifications. You always know when we post a new video or when we stream. Catch notifications and stuff, when we do weird surprise streams on like a Sunday or something. Just hypothetically. You can join channel membership for those badges and emotes we talked about. Like I mentioned earlier, there'll be a join button under this video and in the description as well. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the show and several times throughout, you can support us on Patreon. Links also in the little link tree below in our channel page and stuff. And support us, get access to episodes early in audio format for as little as $1 a month or approximately $10 a year. At higher levels, you can watch all videos early. Like that Wanted, for instance, you can get access to topic polls. You can, at higher levels, listen to the show live and also get on-air shoutouts where I will read your Patreon name out loud at the start of everything. That is it for this week. We will see you guys later. Everybody have a safe weekend. Be careful with fireworks. Don't burn down any states. You know the ones. And we'll see you guys next time.